Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. Hashtag Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
Oh, it is your home for spiritual comfort. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Or is it? Will this be your home for spiritual comfort? I don't know. I can't tell you today. There's always the next game. I can't tell you today. Well, hopefully they'll bounce back. Season ended, baby. And quite frankly, they got dominated in the Stanley Cup Final. The Edmonton Oilers split the first two games, overtime. Looked like it was going to be a thriller, and then something that I did not expect to happen happened, and that is the Florida Panthers just really dominated the series. Yes, the Oilers pulled out a Game 4 victory, an unusual one. What was I saying when the Oilers were going into the Stanley Cup Final, Jay? That they'd only lost 4 games, and a couple of those were under unusual circumstances. All the power play goals that Dallas got in Game 1. Vegas had to score in the last second. Like when the Oilers were beaten, it was kind of strange how they were beaten. Well, when the Florida Panthers were beaten in this series, it was kind of strange how they were beaten. You know, good teams, if it's a normal, quote-unquote, normal game in which they can go out there and dictate it, well, Florida was better. Dominant. I don't expect that to make people feel better. But I think it's blatantly what happened in the series. I don't think the Edmonton Oilers are a terrible team. I don't think they're a terrible franchise. I did a hit with what's that city in Saskatchewan?
Moose Jaw.
No, the other one.
Humboldt.
No, the where the Riders play.
Kindersley.
Yes. Did a hit on Regina Radio today.
Oh, sorry.
Did a hit on Regina Radio today. And they asked me something like, so we're going to be talking again in 365 days about the Oilers having been in the Stanley Cup Final. And I said, well, you're making a lot of assumptions that I will even go on your station a year from now. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said, I think the Oilers are still the favorite, or certainly on a short list of favorites in the Western Conference. I think we have to acknowledge, okay, so let's acknowledge what they did before we acknowledge what they didn't do. They beat a team that was specifically built to try to beat them, the LA Kings. The LA Kings put most of their energy into, we got to beat the Edmonton Oilers. And they did get up 2-0, and most of the games were close. They couldn't do it. Then they played the team that I affectionately call the miserable bastards. And the Oilers were more miserable, and they were better, and they beat them. And then they beat this well-rounded, well-coached, well-goaltended Dallas Stars team. And really, let's face it, Jay, they took the Dallas Stars apart. Like, we're still finding pieces of the Dallas Stars around the office in 5 games. So they did a lot of good things. Did they do some of those things with areas of the roster that perhaps weren't firing on all cylinders? Sure. Did they do some of those things with question marks? Sure. And then they played a team well-built, playing well at the right time. Like, I think the Panthers are a very, very good team. I think the Panthers are an excellent team. Plus, they were playing their best hockey on the biggest stage. They put it all together at the right time.
I think the one word that stands out for me when you describe the Florida is you said the Florida Panthers team. And that team, firing on all cylinders, simply outmatched the Oilers at this stage of the playoffs.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the flaws that the order... Okay, well, we'll discuss this from 2 angles, probably today and maybe even most of the summer. Who knows? And by the way, the Oilers traveling back today from, I guess, Fort Lauderdale's the airport. Traveling back today. Tomorrow, There will be media availabilities with select players in the morning. So we'll have some audio for you on Edmonton Sports Talk tomorrow. So that's what's going on with the Oilers. And also tomorrow, and we'll talk more about this team later on today and a lot tomorrow, the Edmonton Elks home openers tomorrow against the Montreal Alouettes. And what do you guys have before the game and after the game?
We have the Green and Gold kickoff show and post-game show.
And who's that hosting it?
Matthew Awanek, the coup.
And you.
And myself.
So that's exciting. So our coverage of our local teams continues. We got Stingers games on the stream. We got Riverhawks games on the stream. Our excellent work doesn't change just because the Oilers happen to have been eliminated from the playoffs. It's weird. It's weird to me. It's always a weird calling it elimination when it's the Stanley Cup Final, because there's no other series that you could have advanced to. I mean, you made it as far as you could have. You just didn't win the last series.
Yeah, so you could say they lost the Stanley Cup Final. They lost
the Stanley Cup Final. They weren't eliminated. I guess they technically were eliminated.
But I like what you said there. It's not like you win and you move on. Like somebody in the nasty chat said, Oilers in 9. Well,
yeah, well, why not? Let's keep playing till they win. Who knows? It would still be a big advantage for Florida because they'd be up 4-2 when you got to win 5. So anyway, they'll talk tomorrow. But I think we have to remember two things. What are the Oilers' outright weaknesses, perhaps? And what are things that the Florida Panthers just stopped the Oilers from doing? Now, maybe that's 6 of one, half dozen or another, because if eventually you reach a point where you can't do it because of your opponent, I guess maybe it's a weakness. But again, the Oilers did go as far as you could and made a couple other pretty good. Well, the 3 teams the Oilers beat were all quote unquote better than them because they had home ice advantage in their rounds. And the Oilers were underdogs in all those series.
Correct.
If you looked at the betting books, Play Alberta, and people picking. The Sportsnet people. But didn't 18 of 21 people pick the Kings over the Oilers on Sportsnet?
Yeah.
Like Speck and 2 other guys picked them?
It was mostly, and this was throughout all the series, I believe it was well over 75% in every series took the team the Oilers were playing.
Right. And then this one, okay, the Panthers beat them. So we'll discuss from both those angles today, tomorrow, again, probably most of the summer, because the discussion and the passion about this team does not go away. Jay, you actually walked in on me today while I was in the middle of something.
Yes, I did.
I was all alone in a room.
Yeah. Thank goodness the lights were on.
I was in the kitchen next door here to the EST Global HQ, and I was pre-taping the hit, because it's Jamie Nye. I think his show was on at the same time as ours. And I can't remember what they asked me. Something about, they asked me, are you ready for the emotional, they said, are you emotionally prepared for all the people who are going to say that McDavid will leave Edmonton and go play for the Leafs? Something like that. And I went on my rant about trolls and sometimes Toronto-based trolls and how people in other parts of Canada often don't understand Edmonton, don't understand the West, cherry pick things to pick on the city. And I said, you guys get it in Regina. Winnipeg gets it. Oh, look at it was cold on December 15th. McDavid sure must hate. This is what I'm going off on a tangent here.
Go.
This is what I don't understand. That people are so obsessed in other parts of the country with Connor McDavid, probably mostly in the GTA, that they'll look at the temperature in Edmonton. So let's face it, sometimes it's cold here. Sometimes it's one of, if not the coldest place in the country. We get it. There's a certain way the globe works and weather works, everybody. Okay? There's nothing to do with the caliber of the human beings who live there. Okay? But there's certain realities about nature and the temperature. But it's like some people in some parts of the country are so obsessed with Connor McDavid playing for the Oilers that they'll see the forecast, the national forecast, and they'll see, it's December 20th and Edmonton's minus 30. And instead of thinking, oh, my Uncle Rob lives in Edmonton or near, I wonder how he's doing, or I wonder if his dogs are outside the day, or he brought him in the house, or thinking, oh man, that's cold. I wonder how cold it'll get here this winter. Like normal human things, they'll think, Connor McDavid must hate playing for the Oilers. He's going to want out.
Right.
Like it's sad. It's sad. And I saw some of this stuff yesterday on Twitter. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, but I was looking at it a little more yesterday, just seeing some reaction. And sure enough, things pop up in my timeline. Well, McDavid's going to have to get out of there to ever be any good. Like, what? Like you're so caught up on the fact that little old Edmonton has a good hockey player on the team that all he must want to do is leave. So how many years has Connor McDavid played for Edmonton? 10, right?
Yep.
He has not won the Stanley Cup. Hey, that's a bummer. Would you agree that's a bummer?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
That's a bummer. Oilers fans want him to win. Oilers fans are passionate, correct?
Very.
Extremely passionate. In those 10 years, which Canadian franchise has been to the Stanley Cup Final the most? And he's failing. And he's failing. And he hates it. And he doesn't care about being an Oiler. All he wants to do is leave. Yet he and the other good player, in some cases, single-handedly, maybe not so much
the
this
one that
year.
just re-signed?
The one that just, the German kid. The one that just re-signed. All right. Anyway, that's my tangent for the day. Well, one of them probably.
It is interesting, too. As a married man, I will say that his wife putting roots down in the community and opening a boutique bar or whatever.
Yeah.
That says a lot. Trust me.
Like, yeah. And it's, God forbid somebody moves somewhere and tries to become part of the community. It's like a normal human thing, except when hockey players do it. Oh, no, he secretly hates it there. Okay.
Sure. It's one of the, I guess, negatives of having to deal with a team that is currently quite successful and has two of the top or best players in the world, is the surrounding markets will, the saying, I guess, would be hate us because they ain't us.
Sure.
Which is, it's part of the game. Does that change anything here? No,
it doesn't.
That might make people feel good about themselves there. Sure. Whatever makes you get up in the morning.
Whatever
Reid.
floats your boat. So what have you found just from your life, friends, family, loved ones? I would say colleagues, but all your colleagues are working on a radio station that talks a lot about the team. The sense of the Oilers having lost.
I honestly got the sense that most people that I've interacted with knew this was over anyhow.
Well,
that this was not a surprise or a shock that it ended this way. I think Florida did a great job of numbing Edmontonians to the point where, yes, rah, 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 go Oilers, go Oilers. But in the back of your head, in the back of your mind, the smart part of your mind, you probably realized that this was a done deal. So I think that may have helped with the pain of losing in Game 6.
Well, certainly, and I think, you knew this because of what I think on air on Monday, I was trying to be as optimistic as I could. And I always try to present both sides of things. And you and I did that. We each had our reasons for the Oilers would win in 7 and why they would lose in 6. I just wonder if the audience sensed my sense of defeat on Monday, my pessimism for Game 6. That I had seen enough that I thought it was going to be very difficult. You sensed it.
Yeah, and that's just the honesty of it. You're not putting on a shtick every time you're on air.
Sometimes people usually know when it is.
But you have such a good feel for this team. You have, since I've worked with you, you generally know the direction that things are heading, and that was your gut feeling. You've been very much so in that camp for quite a while here, if we're talking recent timeline. And to be quite honest, so is Joaquin Gage. So is plenty of others here. It's just, as a fan or even a broadcaster, you just can't say it's over until it actually is.
Yeah, because strange things happen all the time.
Exactly.
That's the nature of sports. But the trend was
yeah.
Florida has taken control. The Oilers can't figure it out. And even, I guess what we saw, and I think we even saw this last night, even when there were portions of the game in which the Oilers appeared to be playing well, they still weren't really playing that well or weren't accomplishing anything. There were times, and I think
go further than the first 5 minutes of the game.
Well, and I think after it was maybe, I can't remember if it was an intermission or halfway through the game, Sportsnet put up an offensive zone time, and it was almost like 6 seconds apart.
Yeah.
But who felt like they had more off?
I saw that, yeah.
Because Florida, as we've often talked about, and the good teams do this, and Edmonton did it to some teams as well. The Oilers might have had the puck in the Florida zone. It wasn't getting to the net. And if it was getting to the net, it was one shot, probably not screened, probably not a rebound. And Florida's like, cool. You had the puck for 30 seconds, and we forced you to take a low percentage shot, and now we're going the other way.
Well, and credit to Florida for getting through that first 5-minute surge from the Oilers and actually coming out of it on top, right? I mean, that's what they have the capabilities, the ability to do.
Right. And that's what we talked about so much during the season, that the good teams, maybe they don't have a large window to do damage, but they make sure they do damage. And hurting yourself, I mean, the boost, the Ekholm, and I maybe we'll find out tomorrow in the near future how healthy or unhealthy Ekholm really is. But I mean, that's part of the playoffs.
Or Nuge
or whoever. But I mean, Ekholm clearly with an uncharacteristic pass to Bouchard, who couldn't control it, couldn't get Reinhart coming back. I think, quite frankly, McDavid made a massive mistake on the second goal. It was a 2-on-2. Draisaitl was coming back. He stopped, picked up the third guy. Kachuk's the fourth guy. McDavid was sort of with him, left him to go double team the puck carrier because there was already a defenseman watching that guy. The puck goes to, so massive mistake by a top player. But again, that could also be a product of the situation where McDavid's thinking, God, we got to get the puck. We got to get the puck. You know, the Oilers weren't able to play sort of that patient, under control game that they've been playing. I know this pains people to see it, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to write off the result, but I do think a lot of the discussion has to start with the Panthers had a better team and they played better. Now, so the Oilers got to get to that hump. I'm not excusing it. I don't want to I'm not telling everybody to say, just throw your hands up and forget about it. The Oilers got to try to get there, but I also think you got to say Florida, for most of the series, was better.
Yep. If you're saying otherwise, you're lying to yourself. I mean,
right.
And that's the big question to me, Reid. And we've talked about it for the past while. Was this a matter of the Oilers pooping the bed, or was this more of a testament to just how dedicated Florida is to their game?
Yeah, it may be that Florida is
that they just made them look that bad.
They're the standard now. Yeah. Well, yes, you have to say they're the standard. 3 consecutive Cup Finals, and they either beat the snot out of teams, scoreboard and physically, or when they're in a tough situation. They were down 2-0 to the Leafs. Game 3 was in overtime. They needed the big goal. They got it, right? And then they won 2 games in Toronto to win the series. So they're the standard right now. But again, that's where the Oilers got to get. And I do think the Oilers are close. I do think, and Hernan asked me yesterday on the post-game show, he said, how do you compare last year to this year? And I kind of struggled to answer the question because, there's obviously differences to both rosters. There's differences in how the 2 series played out. I mean, last year there was no overtime. This year there were 3 games. But I said, I guess, Hernan, the biggest difference is going to be, or maybe should be, how the Oilers react to it. Last year they reacted for the most part. I know there were signings in the summer, everybody, and Vogel left and other guys came in, and then the St. Louis situation happened. I get all that. But for the most part, the Oilers said, we're bringing back most of this team. And we're going to add a couple wingers, right? This year, I don't think they can say that. I think that has to be the difference. Now, I know easier said than done. I'm sure we'll spend most of the summer talking about salary cap and free agents and possibilities. But I think that they have to say, all right, this contract, we have to at least try to move on from it, or we have to try to trade this. And clearly, Bush and McDavid contracts are out there. But I don't think they can just come back and say, this is our third line. We just need one guy here. We need, like, they may have to change, who knows? They may have to change out 5, 6, 7 players for the start of the season. And then plus any changes that might happen into next season and going into the trade deadline. Maybe.
Well, here we sit at the end of the year, the day after the Stanley Cup was awarded to the Florida Panthers. And you could easily say the same things we said at the start of, during preseason, where the Oilers are lacking. You could say they're still lacking in those areas. Goaltending, defense.
Well, wingers for Draisaitl.
Well, yeah,
I mean, that's been going on. That's been going on about 7 years for longer.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you could say that in September.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, hey, a lot to get to. I still think on the whole, this was a heck of a season for the Oilers. We know they didn't start great. They had a big surge. They kind of had the stumble around the Four Nations face-off. The end of the season was weird because there were a lot of guys not playing, perhaps some with injuries, perhaps some being held out. The playoff run as a whole, I thought, was pretty darn thrilling. I mean, you look at some of those wins against LA, 2 overtime wins against Vegas. There's a step. There's a nice step. They were a good overtime team for the postseason, but they just got beat in the Stanley Cup Final. We're going to kind of go through the roster just with some thoughts on each guy, maybe a highlight or two from the postseason or what's next for this player. We'll do that for the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. You can get in touch by emailing Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can jump into the nasty chat. That's our chat going down the right hand of the screen on YouTube. Chat with us, really chat with each other. I don't think we could keep up with the messages today if we tried. So just everybody keep it under control. You can disagree, no name calling, quite frankly, if we see any profanity directed at whoever, we will boot you. Right, Coop? We see something that's actually nasty in the nasty chat. Give us a thumbs up, though, while you're in there. Let's see if we can get to 200 again. Even though the playoffs are now technically done, we've had a great streak of getting to 200 every day during the playoffs. So click that thumbs up button on YouTube. And you can text us at 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Crew Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Every show we do the off-topic topic presented by William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. 2 questions today for the off-topic topic. Which Florida Panther do you find the most tolerable? Which Florida Panther do you hate the most? And can we include the coaching staff?
We have to.
Which Florida Panther do you find the most tolerable? Which Panther do you hate the most? You got to narrow it down to one. We don't want lists. Which Florida Panther do you find the most tolerable? Which Florida Panther do you hate the most?
I'm just going to say it. Most tolerable, Sam Bennett. He never cracks. He never smiles. He's never yelling. He's stone cold killing you.
Right.
At both ends of the ice.
Right.
How can you hate a guy like that? He's not trash talking you. He's gritty. He's everything you would want on your team. Let's face it. Sam Bennett, most tolerable. God. And I don't know. Most hated?
Well, you can think about it.
I don't know.
Maybe you'll bring him up in buying or selling, or I will. I like this one from C-Run. Most intolerable, long-term injured reserve. That's a good one. All right. We will have Jay's play of the day coming up for Play Alberta when we get back. The Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Drew Remenda is going to join us. If you saw Drew's appearance last week, you probably heard him promise he would come on once the series had a resolution, which it now does. We will have some clips. So you were at Elks practice today, so we'll dive into that a little bit later on. They have a big game tomorrow against Montreal. Here comes the Coop.
ESPN's Sham Charania has reported that the Bus family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership of the LA Lakers to Mark Walter, with the sale valued at approximately $10 billion. From Indiana, Tyrese Haliburton is a game-time decision for tomorrow's Game 6 against the Thunder. Haliburton fighting a lower body injury throughout the series, also suffering a calf strain in Game 5. NHL news has the Predators announcing that captain Roman Josi was diagnosed with POTS, a nervous system disorder, at the end of the season, with the team saying that Josi is expected to play next year. In the CFL, Ottawa's Drew Brown hasn't been ruled out for Saturday's game against the Stamps, with Dustin Crum on standby if Brown is out for the game. And the Jays are back in action, taking on the D-backs. Toronto naming Eric Lauer as the starting pitcher. Action goes at 5:07. Right now, one game is live. Red Sox up 3-1 on the Mariners in the 5th inning. Riverhawks also play, going at it against the Bells at home. Listen to the full game on any of VST's audio streams with first pitch just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. More with Reid Wilkins and Jay Milne once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
So here's the question, though. How much of that is, Barkov contributes, obviously, but how much of that is the Oilers' defense inability to get the Oilers forwards the puck cleanly? Because to me, that's what's doing it. It's not even like Barkov having to defend in the defensive zone. It's like Edmonton just never has speed through the neutral zone. And if they do, they're having to chip and chase. Like they're not entering the zone
Two guys
clean.
and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the Banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Just like the boys of summer keep their gear in top shape, you can keep your stuff safe with Sentinel Storage.
Hit a home run with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon, the day after the Edmonton Oilers lose the Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers. Our off-topic topic: which Florida Panther do you find the most tolerable? Which Panther do you hate the most? Caster 1990, I hate Seth Jones. Whiny baby. Juiced the market for D-men with his UFA signing in Chicago, then cried to get out of Chicago when they slipped into a rebuild. Does not deserve a cup ring. Oh, that's harsh. Kevin says Forsling is the most tolerable. Great player. Great defender.
He was my second choice. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys on here. Kachuk, not popular. Big Uke, Nate Schmidt, most tolerable. Good guy, no need to hate him yet. Aiden is questioning your choice of Bennett as being the most tolerable. Danny says most hated is Kachuk by a mile. Cash says hate Paul Maurice. The Deutschland Dangler says I hate Bennett the most. I love Barkov. Was that Barkov that had the big cut on his hand that he was playing with? I believe it was. So keep those coming in. The nasty chat or the text line 780-218-9999 presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Even if we don't read them on air, you can share them with others.
Dylan Koskinen in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. Tolerable Barkov, hated Kachuk. Jason and Leduc, tolerable Bobrovsky. Hate the most Kachuk. He says he's the type that wouldn't return a shopping cart.
He is. Yeah.
Troll says Barkov is the only Panthers guy I like and respect.
Interesting. Well, Evander Kane doesn't like Kachuk. That's for sure.
No, they
that's the only penalty they called the entire game.
Well, they had offsetting, and I guess in the first.
Oh, there was a 4-on-4 earlier in the game. Yes, my mistake. Apologies to NHL.
You know why I was so able to focus on that first period?
Yeah, what happened yesterday?
My God. It took me 2 hours to get home.
Is this as a result of what we were getting messages about?
No, I took the Henday north.
Don't you do that all the time?
I do that all the time, and usually, so when you know this, when our show has ended early for an Oilers game, so we're off air at 5,
right?
And then I can usually be home by 6 because it is more traffic at that point. Normal times we're done at 6.
Right.
I can usually get home on the Yellowhead pretty quick. The traffic is lighter.
Right.
Oh, Reid, yesterday I sent you updates.
You did?
I moved like an inch on the in half an hour. So I had to get up. I ended up going all the way to Namao and around.
Really?
Yes, to get through this.
Oh my God.
I guess there was a huge accident on the Henday, so.
Right. Yeah, but which is what people were writing in about yesterday.
No, they were writing about White Mud East at 111.
I thought there was something on the Henday too.
Oh, geez, if I had known that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I listened to the broadcast for the entire first period and part of the second.
Well, that's when it started going wrong for the Oilers.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. It's time.
It's Jay. It's play. He's Jay. It's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
You like that, don't you? It is a pretty fun little jingle. Jay's Play of the Day, of course, is presented by Play Alberta, your home for online gaming excitement featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instance, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today at playalberta.ca.
Reid, I don't know what to say about this one.
Okay.
Well, I do. So Reid and I were talking. I was working on something that's going to be coming up later in the show. And it had taken a bit of my mind. So I said, Reid, what do you think I should do for the play of the day? So I said, oh, well, why don't you do SGA, 26 or more points.
Yeah.
And 5 or more assists.
Okay.
That's great.
Is that what I said?
Yeah. It was 25.5 points and 4.5 assists. Over.
Okay. Because I was looking at his stats for the final. He's had one game with 0 assists and one with 3 and another one with 4.
So apparently this is quite a... So I sent... I got on my thing and I sent that over to the good people at Play Alberta because it's not something you could necessarily build that specific. But they do this for us. So they got back to me and said, yeah, it's up on the site. And I look and I'm like, wait, that can't be right. But it is. Because this is a bit of a lock, apparently.
Apparently.
SGA, we're going to stick with it, though, because, hey, it's still a win.
It's still a win. You still got to wager. You still got to decide if you like it or not.
Yeah. So we're going to stick with it. SGA, 26-plus points and 5-plus assists. That was boosted to minus 182.
So that means it's heavily favored that will happen.
Yeah. It's not...
Tomorrow's the game.
Tomorrow is the game.
So, because tomorrow, I assume you're going to do an Elks play of the day.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing the NBA one today to get you ready for the game.
But I mean, if you put $5 on that and it hits, you're still winning $2.75. It's not terrible. It's just usually you don't see numbers that large in the negative on the play of the day.
Oh, okay.
But I like it, Reid.
That's why I probably shouldn't do it. That's why it's not Jay's play of the day and Reid's. I got Reid's read on the postgame show. Well, I did anyway. That's why it's not whatever.
So head over to playalberta.ca, click on the EST specials, and you'll see Jay's play of the day there.
I think Duck Dad positive in the nasty chat saying profit is profit.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Way to go, Duck Dad. You deserve a clap. And it's to be so positive on today of all days. Good for you.
Yeah, well, you got to find nice things to look at.
You know what,
that sounded weird. You got to find nice things to look at.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
More. So we've seen a few of these on Frederick, right?
Yes.
I find that stunning.
I find it shocking. Almost unbelievable.
Like, why do you sign? I don't get that one. Now, I guess the Oilers do need players. I mean, you can't just have. But so the rumor is an 8-year contract for Frederick for $4 million per year. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
So Trent Frederick is 27. He turned 27 in February. So that would take him until he's 35. He does. Now, here's the thing, I guess. It depends what Trent Frederick you're getting. In the playoffs, Trent Frederick had 22 games played, 1 goal and 4 points. He did get into a fight. And quite frankly, I think for most of the playoffs, well, I'll speak for myself. Trent Frederick left me wanting a little more. Or maybe a lot more in some games. Is that fair? I know we almost scored in overtime. But
he had his moments.
Right.
But no, this has me asking the question, what does this organization know that we don't?
I don't know. I mean, if you're getting Trent Frederick, who in Boston in back-to-back years had 1 year with 17 goals, 31 points, and 57 penalty minutes, and then another year had 18 goals, 40 points, and 69 penalty minutes, that's cool. This past year with Boston, he had 8 goals, 15 points in 57 games, 44 penalty minutes. He played 1 game in the regular season with the Oilers. It's hard to really evaluate that. But here's what what really makes me wonder about this. Players of his caliber don't usually get 8-year deals. Don't get max length deals that take you into your 30s. Like, sometimes a really good player signs maybe at the age of 31 and he gets an 8-year deal and you're thinking, oh, with the way he plays, I don't know how good he's going to be at 38 and 39, but you had to give him the max year deal to still get some good years from him. I don't know about this one with Frederick.
Well, and I mean, right now, Puckpedia shows the Oilers having 11.96 available in cap space. Now, you have to sign.
Well, Bush's new deal will count under that. McDavid's will not.
McDavid's won't, but you still have Corey Perry, Connor Brown, Kasperi Kapanen, Trent Frederick. So, I mean, if Trent Frederick's getting $4 million, that number goes down to 7.96. And you still have to sign Bush.
Yeah.
Corey Perry, I'd imagine you want to give him another run. I'm not sure. But I just, and John Klingberg, what do you do there?
They'll probably go get a different defenseman.
But with what money?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like this is not.
Well, I mean, maybe you're trading. Maybe you're trading Evander Kane. He has a 16-team approved trade list. Maybe Arvidsson waives his no move. I know there were some rumors about that during the regular season. Yeah. I'm just more surprised at the length of the rumored length of the contract.
Absolutely.
As opposed to $4 million per year. I mean, we're at the point where good third liners are going to get that much, right?
I know, but longer term should mean lower money too. I mean, that $4 million number still is shocking. Shocking.
Yeah, like you're really saying, okay, Trent Frederick, you're a guy we need to, we got to be sure we have you on our roster for 8 years. That is a long time.
And then you find out there's a no move clause.
Well, there shouldn't be if he's getting that much money on the contract. Anyway, that is rumored today. People who have listened to me over the years know I don't like to spend a ton of time on rumors, but enough people are saying it. I guess we'll find out as it moves along.
Do you find that timing to be odd, Reid?
Yes.
So maybe this is just completely out of left field.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess I always try to think, okay, why would somebody do this? Well, if you're Frederick, of course you would do it. I mean, maybe the Oilers are saying, we think you're that good. We think you played on one ankle in the playoffs. That's going to heal, and you're going to be this model third liner. I don't know. I don't know. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Jay at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If you're taking us in on YouTube today, remember to click the thumbs up button if you haven't already. If you haven't already, we don't know what you're waiting for. Get in there and do it. And maybe share the show link with other people and say, hey, subscribe to Edmonton Sports Talk. Give this show a thumbs up and enjoy some great coverage and some great conversation with Edmonton Sports Talk. We will have a conversation centering around each individual Oiler player when we get back for the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel.
In the association, Mark Walter is entering an agreement with the Bus family to try and buy majority ownership of the LA Lakers, a deal worth approximately $10 billion. And if the deal goes through, it would be the largest sale in pro sports franchise history. Elsewhere, there's some moves in the NHL. Eric Holla is headed back to Nashville, being traded from New Jersey in exchange for Jeremy Hanzel and this year's 4th round pick. Staying with the Preds, the team has announced that captain Roman Josi was diagnosed with POTS, a nervous system disorder, near the end of last season, with Josi fully expected to return for the start of next year. For the Blackhawks, Ryan Donato has signed a 4x4 contract extension. The 29-year-old potting 31 goals for 62 points in 80 games last season. MLB action has Toronto and Arizona rematching. Jays winning 5-4 yesterday. First pitch of 5:07, seeing Eric Lauer get the ball for Toronto. Right now, midway through the 6th, Seattle trails Boston 3-1. And back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks play the Bells. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. That one starts just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Vantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment today. It's the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel next here on the show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Oil Stream.
I talked about that last night. I used Corey Perry as an example. That guy at 40 years old, fantastic what he did. But
you made a good point on that last night. I remember that.
Yeah, and I used him as an example. I said, like, he's 40 years old and he's your top line right winger. I know it should be Zach Hyman. That wasn't possible due to the injury, but that is something that will need to be looked at.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Must you click? Your thumb. Must you click?
All right, there's the world famous Thumb Click remix, as put together by Zachary Kubish, reminding you, urging you to give us a like, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. Jason Milne and I are with you until 6 o'clock. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, the stream will continue, as Jay was telling you, with the Green and Gold kickoff show. Jay and Matthew Awanek, another year. Well, he already did one game. The year has already started. They lost to BC a week and a half ago. Tomorrow, Alouettes at Elks, 7 o'clock, play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. I'll be going to the game. The Elks are fairly big underdogs in the game, are they not?
6.5 points.
6.5
underdogs.
points. Alouettes looking very, very good. We'll see if... I mean, what's the main challenge tomorrow?
What's the main challenge? The Elks struggling offense versus the Alouettes.
Right.
Very intimidating defense.
The offense did not inspire a lot of confidence.
Nope, sure didn't. But, like you said earlier, I was down at practice today, got to speak one-on-one with Jordan McSimic, who is the Elks offensive coordinator. And I think you're going to see more of a commitment to everything that, well, what all Elks fan wanted was to run the damn ball.
Right. Hope so.
Yeah.
James Barrels of the Nasty Chest says the Panthers remix would be check, 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 must you check, dump, dump, dump. Cade Riley says football sucks, only hockey is worth watching. Well, thank you for your very strong and intelligently expressed opinion.
Yeah, can you back that up? Show your work.
Yeah, show your work, Cade.
Show your work,
Give
Cade.
us, all right, Cade. Although let's challenge Cade here a little bit.
Yes, I would. I'm serious.
Cade, give us 4 things you like about hockey and 4 things you don't like about football. Back up why you like one and don't like the other. We're curious.
Would love to know.
Like if you're going to put that in the nasty chat, where it's going to take up space for for people who are actually trying to contribute in other ways. Give us your top 4 things you like about hockey. Give us top 4 things you don't like about football and how that affects your enjoyment of the 2 games. Let's see if he'll do it. Let's see if he'll do it.
What do you think the over-under is on him actually completing the
if he does it, or he can even email reid@edmontonsportstalk.com. So because if he can do it, if he can actually do it, I'll try to find a prize for him.
Okay.
Like I will try to find a prize for him. So I would say, Kate, email me, reid@edmontonsportstalk.com, so we can actually give you some space to write complete sentences and outline your thoughts. Try to have it in by 5 this afternoon. We'll give you a deadline for the assignment. And if it comes in and if it's well written and intelligent and maybe a little bit humorous, but if you put some time in it, I'll appeal to the coup that we find you some sort of a prize, GC or a EST shirt or something. I maybe shouldn't start doing this. I might get in trouble. I might get a wrist slap. Or it's like, Reid, you can't just start promising prizes to everybody. But I'll say, if Cade Riley's good, if he's going to come with that energy, and then we're going to say, all right, Cade, you want to come with that energy? Really come with it. And if he steps up to the plate and does it, we'll find him something. Maybe a Jason Milne autographed defensive back glove. Oh, no, he wouldn't like it because it's football related.
You don't try.
All right. Drew Remenda is going to join us a little bit later on to break down the Stanley Cup Final. We're going to have a possibly entertaining edition of Buying or Selling.
Do you want to say what it's going to be? You want to tease it a bit, Reid?
I don't think Cade's going to do the assignment. I don't think he's getting the prize by any means.
Oh, it would have been a good one, too.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to pull this one out, judging by what he's putting in the chat. That's okay.
Okay, so one of the arguments is that hockey players have long sleeves so they don't get mosquito bites.
Did you see the other one?
I did.
We're not going to read that one?
Well, I think Cade's just trying to hand in an assignment.
Yeah,
so
but he's not
on time.
Yeah, he's disappointing now. But this is the thing. Now that he's done that, he's disappointed us, and he's disappointed everybody in the nasty chat.
I would have really appreciated a well-defended thesis that football sucks and hockey is the best.
Yeah.
I really would have. Fires me up.
Yeah. But instead, he's making poop jokes. Which, hey, we've done ourselves, for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's okay.
Who doesn't like a good fart sound?
Click the thumbs up if you're taking us in on YouTube. First of all, we do a thing here called the Word of the Day at the end of the show where Jake quizzes me on the spelling and definition of words. We want to get to at least 155 for that, and we'd love to keep hitting 200 here, even though the Oilers' postseason run has ended. By the way, Jason Milne and I are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Mondays at the Banquet. Bowl for just $2 all day. Grab your friends, have fun, and start your week right. Get real, play hard. The Banquet. So, again, the Oilers flying back today from Fort Lauderdale. There will be some media availabilities tomorrow morning with some select players. So we'll have the audio from that when we hit the airwaves at 3 o'clock. I'm sure they'll have them on EST afternoons as well. But we'll break down some of the key comments. What now?
Collingwood Rob in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. He says, Reid and Jay, you can give him my $25 GC to Hudson's as the prize. I mean, people are getting behind you, Cade.
Well, they're not getting... I don't know if they're supporting him. They want him to do the work and put some effort in.
Good.
We'll see what we get. Let's do the Oil Understood. Of course, it is presented by, as it has been all season long, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Jasmine in the nasty chat. In Miami/Fort Lauderdale market, 96.8% of households were not tuned into the Stanley Cup Final. Jasmine, we need a source for that, and we need the percentage of households in the Edmonton area that were or were not tuned in for comparison, right?
Absolutely.
Goob, you all right? Goob's doing some charging. I'm easily distracted today. So here's what Jay and I are going to do in the next couple of segments. We're going to go through the Oilers roster, and we're just sort of going to have a comment on each player, either a playoff highlight or what we're looking for this player, what comes next for this player, or maybe in some cases we'll just say pass.
Just a general discussion.
I'll start. Ty Emberson, pass. He played 9 playoff games. He didn't play a ton. He did get the new deal. Hopefully someone that can develop into a solid, if unspectacular, NHL defenseman. That would be my comment on Ty Emberson.
I'm just treating this as if I want the first thing that comes to my mind about this player. And there's not much. All right?
Right.
For Ty Emberson.
The 3.2 is less than 1/3 of what regular season Dolphin games typically generate and less than 1/4 of what Heat games draw locally. We're in their finals. I guess the thing with this is, and Jasmine's going to think I'm arguing with her, which I'm not, Jasmine, and Jasmine knows I can be quite difficult. I don't know what this proves besides things that we already know.
That nobody cares about hockey down there?
Some areas of the NHL or some areas of the United States have NHL teams and those NHL teams are not a priority in their cities. It doesn't mean that the fans of the Panthers didn't greatly enjoy what happened last night. It just means that a smaller percentage of their community enjoyed it than what the percentage of the Edmonton community that would have enjoyed it. It doesn't mean that, in my mind, it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a team there. I mean, if they can generate revenue and get enough people in the seats to fill the rink, and quite frankly, build a team that's now the envy of the National Hockey League.
Yeah, but
what's wrong with that?
Okay, but here's the thing: is that pisses people from Edmonton off. You're like, how can this team? Nobody cares about them down there. How can they win a Stanley Cup?
Well, because they put together the best team in the league and they went out and executed it 2 years in a row.
Yes, that's the actual answer.
That's the actual answer.
But I'm just trying to get across the common man take on that. It's a spite.
Okay, so I get it, but I mean, 32 years ago, New York Yankees fans could have been like, why should the Toronto Blue Jays have a team? I can't believe the Toronto Blue Jays won a series. Why is there even a team in Canada? They don't have enough people who grow up playing baseball. They don't have enough people who appreciate baseball. My team has been in the league 100 years. They used to be called the New York Highlanders. That's the Yankees fans' argument. So, I mean, I understand there are some markets that, you know, mostly American markets that don't quote unquote care about hockey as much as but I don't know, like every team is going to have every city is going to have a team that's still king, right? I mean, the Jets, if you look at New York, there's all these teams. Well, the Yankees are number one, right? Islanders aren't as big as the Rangers. The Jets aren't as big as the Giants. So even in those cities, there's like, well, there's a hierarchy. So I get it. The TV numbers in Sunrise or Miami, Fort Lauderdale, whatever, for the Stanley Cup Final were not huge. Why would you expect them to be? Even if 3% of the population, only if 3% of the population were watching, that's 3% more than if they didn't have a team at all. That's what Gary Bettman would say. Even if the 18,000 people in the arena are the only 18,000 Panthers fans in South Florida, Gary Bettman says, well, at least we found people who will give us their money. Right?
Fair point.
Jay's like, what's happening?
I was just saying, like, it's a jealousy thing. It's like they don't even care and appreciate what they've got. That's the sentiment. As opposed to here, which is obviously Oilers crazy.
Yeah, which I just think, again, makes oil country and Edmonton look even more special.
Sure.
Oh, the arena was louder in Rogers Place. Good for us.
But are you shocked that people in St. Petersburg or Fort Lauderdale don't really know or care about hockey as much as Oilers fans do here in Edmonton?
No.
That's not shocking. That's not earth-shattering.
No, not at all.
Relando has sent in his reasons why football sucks.
This is not Cade.
This is not Cade. He's doing Relando's doing Cade's work.
People are doing Cade's homework for him.
He says, for me personally, I don't like how they punt. Start the ball on your own 25-yard line.
That's not even accurate. Yeah. That's not used in either league now, is it?
What is pass interference? Does anyone actually know?
That's a good reason.
Get rid of any hard equipment, and it should be leather and padding. And we kind of got off on a football tangent here. Spider-Man.
That's amazing.
Spider-Man Reid has a question for me. I love football.
What? That is not me.
That's not you. Spider-Man Reid.
Where is this? On the text?
In the text line.
Okay.
The River Cree Resort and Casino text line. 780-218-9999. But the only thing I don't understand is how can the ref arbitrarily put the ball wherever he thinks it is and then say you're 2 millimeters short of a first down? Well, I am of the belief that will be changing in the near future with the technology and spotting ability. It's particularly in the NFL.
Well, aren't they going to that this year?
Well, they're using the same technology in the NFL this year that they use in tennis, where you can see if a ball is in or out
The Magic Eyeball.
It's actually similarly named to the Magic Eyeball. I forget what it is, but
I think it should be called the Magic Eyeball.
And hold on, we're going to take a pause here to go to the Magic Eyeball.
That's Jay and I doing football. Magic Eyeball, swooping in now. It's like some sort of spell you cast at a board game.
Speaking of cameras, I did get a...
If only we had something that could do 5 damage. Guys, I didn't want to say anything, but 3 turns ago, I drew the Magic Eyeball. Oh my God.
I did get a kick
I'm
out
glad
of
we can laugh on a day like today.
I did get a kick out. What do they call it in the arenas? The spider cam?
Yeah.
It caught all the well, I think it's attached to 4 wires.
Yeah, why not 8?
Maybe there is.
Spider cam does whatever a spider cam can. Uses wires any size. Gets your images just like flies. Look out. Here comes a spider cam. Do, do, do.
Now that,
oh my goodness.
That we have to develop.
By the way, we got through one player. we got through one player going through the Oilers roster for the Oilers. Yeah, thanks for distracting us, everybody.
Well, see you tomorrow.
Everybody in the nasty chat. All right, we're late into the 4 o'clock break. We will keep going with the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Drew Remenda is going to join us. We'll have some comments from Edmonton Elks practice as well. Here's the 4 o'clock break. Oh.
The Lock Shop.
There's a lot to love about what the Oilers did. I will say this, as a Jet fan, I'm disappointed that the Oilers didn't win this because I have absolutely no doubt that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to be holding that cup up at a certain point.
Yeah.
And if you're another team, you're like, okay, never mind the Panthers. How the hell do we get to the Cup Final with what the Oilers have done and what they've learned in the playoffs the last few years?
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
The Lakers might be seeing a change in ownership with Dodgers owner Mark Walter entering an agreement with the Buss family to purchase their majority share of the Lakers for approximately $10 billion. The deal would make history as the biggest sale in sports franchise history. In hockey, the Blackhawks and Ryan Donato have agreed to a 4-year extension worth $4 million this season. The 29-year-old had 62 points in 80 regular season games last year. And from Nashville, the Predators have acquired Devils forward Eric Haula in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and a 2025 fourth-round pick. Meanwhile, Preds announced that Roman Josi was diagnosed with POTS, a nervous system disorder, near the end of last season, with Josi fully expected to be good to play for next year. MLB action as the Jays and D-backs battle once again. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday, naming Eric Lauer as today's starter, with the game starting just after 5. And the lone game live right now has Boston up 3-1 on Seattle in the 7th inning. Back in E-Town, the Riverhawks challenge the Bells ESTs, carrying the game on any of our audio streaming platforms. First pitch at 7:05. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Coop. Hope you're having a great day. Despite the Edmonton Oilers' Stanley Cup dreams coming to an end last night, team flying back today. They'll have some media availabilities with players tomorrow, so we'll keep you updated on that. Also, tomorrow, the Elks play at 7 o'clock. Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium, playing the Alouettes? 2-0. Elks are 0-1 because the Elks already had a bye. We'll see if the Elks can bounce back from that season-opening loss to the BC Lions. Who did you talk to today? Coming up later.
I spoke with head coach Mark Killam, offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic, and local product Mark Cordy.
All right. Let me guess. You asked them about running the ball.
I demanded they run the ball.
You actually made a demand.
Well, I'll be honest. In the media scrum that was there after practice, that was brought up quite a few times. So
right.
They're well aware of it. And we'll see tomorrow how effective they can be in the run game.
Now, we're also excited because something is debuting on this show tomorrow.
Yes.
Can we talk about it? Or Jay's like, oh my God, he brought it up. What do I do now?
No, it's our first ever Athlete of the Week on the Reid Wilkins Show. We've got a very special guest that's going to be joining us in the 5 o'clock hour. So if you want to hear a story of somebody that you've probably never heard of, but has done some pretty incredible things, tune into the Reid Wilkins Show. Just had another message from Chris in the River Cree inbox nominating somebody. So
good.
Nominations keep rolling in. So keep doing that.
But there's a form on the website though. People can click.
It's a contact form.
Yeah,
it's a generic contact form, but that goes directly. If you designate that it's for the Athlete of the Week, I get that.
Okay. Perfect. Keep giving us the thumbs up on YouTube if you're watching us there.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right. We're coming up to 100 here. Don't delay. Get in there and give us the thumbs up right away. We want to get to at least 155. So for the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, we were going to talk about some individual players, just get maybe a playoff highlight or look at what's next for them. I don't know if we'll have time to go through everybody. Okay, let's eliminate. We're not going to talk about Josh Brown. He played one game.
No, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Stetcher worked his butt off when he was in the lineup. Do we need to say anything else there?
Yeah, I mean, he's the, forgive me for saying a lack of a better term, but the little engine that could. I mean, whenever he was out, he gave it his all. Unfortunately, had a bad turnover, led directly to a goal.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that.
Did play after that, though. Did play in the next game.
Yeah, he did.
People in the nasty chat, yes, we don't have anything more than the same rumor you're seeing on Trent Frederick. And I think I would say, well, I don't want to speak for you, Jay. I share your surprise. Mark in the nasty chat says, WTF is this rumored deal for Frederick 8 years? I've seen it as well. It's coming from trusted sources, unless those are fake Twitter accounts that I'm missing. We'll see. Jeff Skinner only played 5 games, had 2 points. To me, his highlight is the goal he scored against Dallas when they eliminated Dallas. I do not think he'll be back with the Edmonton Oilers.
I would agree.
I don't know if there's much more to say about him.
We
We talked about him a lot during the year. I'm going up from the bottom up on the scoring list. So the next guy, oddly enough, is Trent Frederick. You know what? He did have a goal. It was the winning goal in the series clinching game against the Los Angeles Kings. My highlight for him is his fight against Nick Hague in the Vegas series.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's a bad idea to bring him back. I'm surprised that it would be an 8-year deal.
I'm surprised at the term suggested and the dollar value.
Now, if he scores in the neighborhood of 17 or 18 goals like he did twice with Boston, that'd be a pretty good player to have maybe on your third line. Well, quite frankly, with the way it's gone with this team, if you score 17 or 18 goals, you're going to be on Leon's line. But that's another discussion.
Well, and do they actually play him at center eventually?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because
that's a good point.
His natural position.
Right, like if he replaces Henrique and or Janmark at some point. That's a fair comment. John Klingberg played 19 games. He got 4 points. He was +3. He did get taken out in the Stanley Cup Final. Then he came back in. I would say I don't know if Klingberg's going to be back. I think maybe they need to add a little bit more toughness if you're going to be a number 6 defenseman on the Oilers. Overall, though, I thought he was a pleasant surprise once we got into the postseason.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything bad about that because this looked to be a major mistake by the organization bringing him in, albeit at a bit of a bargain price, right?
Well, kind of.
Maybe not. Okay. But he did exceed expectations in the playoffs. His game dropped off as the playoffs went on, though. But I will never forget the tape-to-tape outlet passes that's, did exactly what the Oilers needed to do in those earlier series. So I have nothing terrible to say about Klingberg, given what his role was supposed to be with this team.
Matthias Janmark is next up. A lot of people mocked his regular season that he never shot a puck past a goaltender. Well, to his credit, he did do it 3 times in the postseason. I'll give his highlight as the mini breakaway goal against Ottinger in Game 5 in Dallas. Didn't have a great cup final like a lot of guys.
Somewhat underwhelming, though.
I was surprised that Brett Kulak only had 5 points in the playoffs. He was +9. I found it difficult to come up with an individual highlight for Kulak. I guess Kulak's biggest highlight is that there weren't a lot of lowlights.
I was just going to say that. Steady Eddie. I mean, he finished +9. Was almost not noticeable. And I've always likened defensemen to offensive linemen, where if you're talking about them, it's usually not a good thing. But if you're not, stay the course.
Matthias Ekholm only wound up playing 7 games. He did have 6 points. Pretty clear for me, his highlight is the goal in Game 1 against Florida.
Absolutely.
And I think he was probably still playing in pain, my guess, educated guess.
Well, and this is one of those things that you alluded to earlier that you're going to find out a lot of people were probably quite nicked up, playing through a lot of pain. I mean, Trent Frederick, who knows if that high ankle sprain was still bothering him throughout the playoffs.
Well, because I feel like he came advertised as a guy who could skate, and he never looked overly quick to me.
Right.
I think he was trying. I think he was, and to go back to Frederick, he did come very close to scoring in overtime twice. In Game 1, that pass from Henrique.
Wow,
certainly that crazy play in Game 4. Kasperi Kapanen played 12 games. He had 3 goals and 3 assists. He was +4. Clearly, his overtime game winner is his highlight. At times, he looked quite good. And at times, and this is what I said during the regular season as well, at times he looked like a waiver wire player. I would actually bring him back on a contract near the league minimum and just see what he can do for a full year here.
I agree. I mean, the Game 5 overtime winner against Vegas, coming in, inserted into the lineup or injected into the lineup, that'll be a memory for sure. So you say the league minimum, huh?
Yeah.
He's not, you don't think?
Well, maybe 1 point something, barely over 1. I don't know.
I mean, just if you look at what Trent Frederick's projected to get or what we're hearing, I don't know. That throws everything out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Victor Arvidsson had a couple of goals. Tough playoff for him. Really a tough season. I think that they'll try to get him, and he might be very willing to waive his no move, and he'll be traded.
I just put always on ice.
I thought he would be way better than he was, quite frankly. That's the one guy.
Look, that was the reason they brought him in, is to get LA Kings playoff Victor Arvidsson.
Right.
And that just didn't come to fruition.
Adam Henrique had 4 goals and 3 assists. To me, his highlight, he had 2 goals in a game against Vegas. And I've always liked Henrique as a player. Was not, and again, this is what Florida did to people. Not noticeable, I guess, outside the face-off circle in the Stanley Cup Final.
And I mean, this is another player. This is a $3 million player that's a UFA the year after next. Is that overvalued at this point?
No. Nurse finished with 3 goals, 8 points, plus 2 in the playoffs. Highlight for him, I guess, is the goal over Bobrovsky's shoulder in Game 4. Again, like a lot of other people, I thought he had some good games along the way, and then some more struggles in the final. So is this, if he keeps saying this, is this because the Oilers started screwing up, or because Florida was that good? Connor Brown, 5 goals, 9 points, missed a couple games. Tough for him because I think he was probably still getting over that Petrovic hit as the playoffs went on. Jake Wallman, 10 points, 2 goals. Individual highlight for him, the goal that briefly gave the Oilers the lead in Game 4. I'm glad he's under contract for next year. I think a pretty good player. It'll be nice to see him with the group for the entire year. Much more of a hothead than I expected, I thought.
I like that in him, though. And I think this is the best acquisition leading up to trade deadline and on trade deadline day. Actually, it was one of the last ones, too. I think this was the best acquisition by this organization. And considering he still has term, he's still under contract next year.
Vasily Podkolzin, how about this? Wound up tied for 8th in scoring over the course of the playoffs for the Oilers. 3 goals, 10 points. Big goal in the overtime win against Vegas. Big goal in the second overtime win against Florida. Obviously got the garbage time goal yesterday. We talked about this player a lot when he was playing with Draisaitl earlier in the season. I am fine with Vasily Podkolzin as a bottom 6 forward. I think he forechecks well. I think he gets in the way. I think he's in the right place.
And for $1 million, that's pretty good value for a player that's given you 10 points in the playoffs.
Zach Hyman, how about this game he had against Dallas? 2 goals, 1 assist, 10 hits, and unfortunately got knocked out. Maybe one of the biggest plays in the Oilers playoffs was Marchment hitting Hyman, if you looked at how that affected the team.
Huge loss. And, I asked you this, I think, just in the break, but do you think that was the difference? Not having Zach Hyman?
Well, they missed him. I don't know if it would have been enough to put him over the top, given how the series went. Evander Kane, 6 goals, 12 points, 44 penalty minutes. My most memorable moment for him is running over Aiden Hill after Henrique scored. I thought he got totally off his game in the Cup Final.
Yeah, just penalties. That was what I wrote. You just can't do that.
Corey Perry, I don't have an individual highlight. I think we just have to applaud a guy that was second on the team in goals at his age over the course of the postseason.
I did have a highlight. He tied the game up in Game 2 with 17 seconds left.
Oh, yeah, that was a big goal.
Right.
The Nuge, 20 points in 22 games, 6 goals. Again, like a lot of Oilers, left us wanting more in the final series, was clearly battling something, had a couple of nice bursts over the course of the postseason. I know he's always an interesting player to talk about because sometimes he leaves everybody wanting a little more. But I'd say a good playoff for Nugent Hopkins. Maybe not a great one, but a good one. Am I being too hard on him? I don't know.
No. What's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins done in the playoffs?
I think he's had some bursts of good play.
But overall, would you say...
But I think that's kind of who he is. He has some bursts of good play. And then what were we talking about in the regular season? Was it a 14 or 17 game stretch? He had 1 goal or something like that?
Yeah.
Evan Bouchard, well, which of the goals against Los Angeles, the game winner in Game 3 or the tying goal against Game 4, those are highlights for him. Certainly, overall, he was much better in the playoffs than he was in the regular season.
Oh, undeniable.
Undeniable.
But unfortunately, heading into the postseason, what's Evan Bouchard going to be remembered by? turning over the puck.
On that one goal?
Yeah.
I hope people don't remember just that one play.
Well, it's going to bring back bad memories of earlier plays in the postseason. But that's going to be a huge question this offseason for the Oilers is what does that contract look like?
Look, McDavid and Draisaitl, clearly we all wish they would have done more in the last couple of games. I mean, Draisaitl set a record for overtime goals in one postseason. McDavid set him up on a couple of those. I mean, clearly the McDavid assist to Draisaitl for the power play goal in the first period of game 2 would be a highlight. I guess if I had to pick one Draisaitl goal, it would be the game 1 overtime winner. Nosek puts the puck over the glass. He's set up for the one-timer. You know, he had the great moment kind of embracing the crowd with his arms out.
I had the overtime winner in game 4 against LA to get the series tied up again at 2. That one that kind of just bounced to him and he rifled it into the net.
Oh, right. Stuart Skinner, my highlight for him would not be one of the shutouts. It would be the second period against Dallas in Game 3 on May 25th. 20 saves in the second period. The Oilers did win the game 6-1, but they pulled away in the third. I thought that was his best performance of the playoffs. Calvin Pickard, I put down 2 highlights. The wrist save on Bennett in overtime in Game 4 that went off the crossbar. And I know he allowed 4 goals in this game, but just the way he battled in the Game 2 overtime win against Vegas, and he also got hurt in that game, stopped 28 out of 32 and helped him get the overtime win.
Hang on.
Yes.
This might be one of the best burns we've ever had in the Nasty Chat.
Oh, good. Okay.
Cambo. Look at this. Look at this. Instead of Edmonton sports talk, look, he said Edmonton sucks talk.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Holy crap.
Oh, my goodness.
How did he come up with that?
That is so original.
I don't even know if we can go on.
We should just stop the show.
We should just stop. That's it. We're done.
Cambo, come take my seat.
I can't take it anymore.
Please. You obviously have the gift.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Wow. That's good. That is so good. Yeah, I never thought that the S could stand for that. That's shocking.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow, that is great. All right, 780-218-9999. Just a quick overview of some of the highlights for some of the Oilers players during the course of the postseason and some quick thoughts on what might be in their future and whether or not it might or might not be with the Edmonton Oilers. You can text us, by the way. The afternoon inbox is 780-218-9999. Presented by River Creek Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Drew Remenda's coming up in about 17 or 18 minutes. We're going to do buying or selling for Damon Bunting when we get back. Here comes the Coop.
Frank Saravalli from Daily Faceoff has reported that the Oilers are expected to sign Trent Frederick to an 8-year contract extension worth nearly $4 million a season. From Chicago, the Blackhawks have re-upped 29-year-old Ryan Donato to a 4x4 contract extension. Donato scoring 31 goals and 62 points in 80 games last season. Meanwhile, Eric Holla is back in Nashville as the Devils dealt the 34-year-old to the Predators in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and a 4th rounder in the upcoming draft. Dodgers owner Mark Walter is entering an agreement with the Bus family, the majority owners of the LA Lakers, to make a deal to buy their shares for approximately $10 billion. If the sale happens, it would be the biggest sports franchise deal of all time. From Toronto, the Jays play the D-backs just after 5 with Eric Lauer taking the mound for Toronto. Right now, there's one game live. Red Sox up 3-1 on the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Riverhawks also play at home to the Bells. Action begins just after 7 with all of AST's audio streams carrying the game. The Reid Wilkins Show returns After a brief break, I'm Zachary Kubich, keeping you up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Brian Rashog from TSN.
This is a 9, 9.5, and a 10. And the margin between those two, I mean, an overtime goal flips in either direction earlier in that series. I mean, you talk about flipping goalies in imaginary land. If the Oilers get the goaltending performance the Panthers did, I mean, probably have a better chance of winning the series, probably win the series.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by South Ford Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick.
Long live Calgary.
July 5th, live in the venue.
All horses are fast.
Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Jay and I are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Of course, the Cube is here as well. Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Amazing drinks, great vibes, and unforgettable memories. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com. If you're taking us in on YouTube this afternoon, thank you for doing so. Give us a thumbs up. Click that like button. Almost at 100. We want to get to 200 by the end of the show, so we're on pace pretty much for exactly that. But don't be a pleasure delayer. Get in there and click right away. Elks game tomorrow, play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium, 7 o'clock game. So after the end of this show tomorrow, Jay's going to stick around with Matthew Iwanek for the Green and Gold kickoff show, and then they'll be on after the game as well for the Green and Gold post-game show. All right. Do we have any more submissions? It kind of came in, that one came in quick for the off-topic topic.
Yeah.
The off-topic topic for William Huff is, which Florida Panther do you find the most tolerable, and which Florida Panther do you hate the most? Tkachuk, I think, was a quick winner for hate the most. Seemed a few people didn't mind Schmidt or Bobrovsky. I thought Forsling's a great player.
A lot of respect for Bobrovsky. Sickler, I've got respect for Bob as well. What a goalie. Tolerable, Barkov, hated Tkachuk. I mean, that's just the... That's it, Reid.
That's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, Barkov was one of the more respected guys.
Yeah, true enough.
All right. Let's have a little bit of fun here with buying or selling. It's presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, sure.
Buying or selling? The Oilers need to address their goaltending this offseason.
Well, yeah, buying. They'll have to. I mean, whether they'll be able to find an obvious upgrade or not, or trade for somebody, is a question. But yeah, I think that, and we talked about Skinner a lot during the year. I don't want to redo the whole discussion. He was not as good this past season as he was the previous season. So that has to be concerning that you didn't really see a step forward or him maintain where he was at. His high end is still pretty good. I mean, he can go on these bursts where he plays well. But then at times, obviously he struggled. And, how much longer is Pickard going to be here, or is Pickard going to play? So they're clearly going to have to look around. I can't guarantee they're going to find somebody who's like a world-beating upgrade.
But can I add this caveat, though, that they take up 3.8% of the cap between Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard's combined salaries?
Very low.
Very.
Yes.
So you have to also reside to the fact that that's going to cost them a position elsewhere. Correct?
Yeah, possibly. Well, depending on what they pay other guys as well. Buying or selling, it requires at least 3 consecutive championships to be considered a dynasty.
100% buying. Oh, you talking about what?
Well, I'm just talking about, Kachuk, obviously.
And
in
Matthew
general,
Kachuk was in the Nasty Chat.
Well, of course he was. He loves the show. He loves the show.
Big time listener.
What about this? Let's say the Panthers do this. So they lost the final. Now they've won 2 in a row. Let's say next year they do not make the final. Then let's say they lose the final, win another one, miss the final, and then win another one. So they had 4 Stanley Cups in 8 years with 2 other appearances. Would that not be a dynasty?
Yes. Like 3 and 5 years, I think. Or say 4 and 6. That kind of talk. Absolutely.
Right.
And with a similar group, similar core.
I would say you have to get to at least 3 championships or have
in 5
a cluster. Like if you won 3 and 5 and lost the final the other two years, you'd be making an argument.
Well, 3 and 5 and being in 4 out of the 5 finals, I would say that's yes.
All right. Sorry, what was your next one?
Do you want?
Or do I have the next one?
Yeah, I think
it's 2 words: buying or selling. Paul Maurice.
Oh boy.
Okay. Which do you want to talk about?
I laughed out loud when I saw after the game him pointing to Coach Knobloch back and forth, like, "Hey, do you want to join the handshake line?" Like, get out of here, man! Like, what do you care? If you don't want to do it, don't. And honestly, they panned out to a wider shot after, but Knobloch was already on his way. Like, right. I don't even know if he acknowledged.
I don't think Knobloch would care what the other coach was going to do, even though he's a less experienced NHL coach.
What did you think of that?
That part bugged me. And look, I actually think Paul Maurice is an interesting guy. He's clearly a very successful coach. He's coached a long time, which means he has a good reputation around the league. I mean, teams will keep wanting to employ him. The handshake stuff annoyed me.
Yes.
Like apparently starting a little bit of an argument on the ice with Brindamore. I get the premise of, like, I think his thing was we don't need everybody, the 4th assistant video coach shaking hands, though I don't think they do.
They don't.
I think if the players and the coaches who are on the bench shake hands, I think that's appropriate. Because he's saying, well, only the players who are in the battle should shake hands. But then again, if you're on the bench, you are right there on the ice. And I do think part of the respect of the handshake line is that a coach can say to opposing player, hey, we game planned against you and you still did a great job. All the best. I think that's part of the handshake line. Well, yesterday's handshake line, there was not a lot of talking from what I saw.
No. And then, you just go back to that press conference he had after they decided not to shake hands as head coaches in the Carolina series. It's about the players. This is about the players, the ones that played on the ice, and it's about them. And then you could cut to a shot of Paul Maurice holding the Stanley Cup above his head. I get it. He's the head coach. He deserves that. It's just be consistent with your thoughts.
Right.
I mean, and in the same respect,
I just did something very bad. I don't do this very often.
Uh-oh.
And I don't mind fans of other teams coming in here. I was starting to mind some of the language that was being used by a Panthers fan, so I have timed this person out. But I accidentally clicked on the big uke to begin with. How do I reinstate the big uke?
Oh, no. Big uke's Brendan. What the heck did I do?
Sorry, Big Uke, if you're listening. I clicked on the wrong thing. The gentleman who was participating in the nasty chat and was getting a little carried away, he has been dismissed, and I doubt he'll be back.
Yes, I saw some of the language he was using. Inappropriate.
Yeah, sorry, Big. How do I reinstate the Big Uke?
I don't think you can.
Oh, sorry,
no.
Big Uke.
Oh, no.
Big Uke, you can email me. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Well, how long did you time him out for?
24 hours.
Oh, no.
But he could be back on the stream tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I feel really bad.
I talk about him coming up in the show. He's part of my thing.
Well, he's still listening.
How do we know?
Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Well, no, he might be back. He might be back.
Let's get to a limerick quickly here.
Oh, yeah, do a limerick.
Jeff, normally in YYZ. He says, happy reflective Wednesday, gentlemen. The loss last night, it really stings. Those damn cat rats doing filthy things. The Oil's chaos was embraced. 3 months till the cup is next chased. So much for Oilers losing to Kings. It's true.
That's pretty good. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Big Uke's back. What did you do, Coop?
Nothing.
What did I do? Well, that other guy I timed out came back too. Oh, whatever. That guy's being mouthy. The nasties will take care of him. All right. Are we done? Do you have another buying or selling for me? Or are we done? Are we done talking about Paul Maurice?
Buying or selling? Thunderstorms are the greatest thing about the summer.
No, selling.
Why?
The summer itself is the greatest thing about the summer.
That's such an easy way to
longer
go.
days, sunshine.
You don't love a good thunderstorm?
They're fine.
I think
they don't scare
fantastic.
me. It's Mother Nature. It's another aspect to Mother Nature.
Apparently, there's a major storm heading our way.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Better today than tomorrow for Elks.
Although I did see it's not supposed to be all that nice tomorrow for the Elks game.
I think, is it going to rain for sure, or might it be better?
I don't know if rain, well, yeah. Yeah, there's a severe thunderstorm watch currently in the area. Tomorrow it's supposed to be for the Elks game. Yeah. 17 and looks like rain. Might get a little wet, bruh.
What are you going to do? Part of the experience. All right. Part of our experience is bringing you Drew Remenda. He's next. Going to break down what happened to the Oilers in the Cup Final.
Daily Faceoff's Frank Saravalli has reported that the Oilers are expected to sign Trent Frederick to an 8-year contract extension worth nearly $4 million per season. And the Blackhawks and Ryan Donato have agreed to a 4x4 contract extension themselves, the 29-year-old having 62 points. 31 goals in 80 regular season games last year. From Nashville, the Predators have acquired forward Eric Haula in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and a 2025 fourth-round pick. While in the association, the Buss family, majority owners of the Lakers, have agreed to sell their share of the team to Dodgers owner Mark Walter for $10 billion. MLB action has the Jays and D-backs battling once again. Toronto winning 5-4 yesterday. Eric Lauer as today's starter with the action starting just after 5. Right now, the Phillies and Marlins are warming up with one game wrapped up. Earlier today, the Red Sox beating the Mariners 3-1. Back in E-Town, the Riverhawks challenged the Bells. EST carrying the entire game on all of our audio streams. Action starting at 7:05. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at paramountflooring.ca. After the break, Drew Remenda checks in with Reid and Jay. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
ST Hangout.
Yeah, and you're off the... I'm off the sauce. So even tomorrow? Yeah. Really, you're going to go off tournament and you're just not going to do anything? I don't buy that.
Either do I.
I'll check in with you guys, but that's your game.
Because if we're anywhere close to each other, it's happening.
Over and under. I'm going to see you like
no.
Don't come near me.
Baba Yaga.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Timeout, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Here we go. Football is back at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth. Cheer on your green and gold as we kick off the excitement with the ultimate celebration of the game we love. Thursday, June 19th, Edmonton versus Montreal. A huge home opener with the Super Dogs halftime show. Plus the debut of our new in-house band, brand new food items, and to celebrate every double E touchdown, the return of an old favorite. Get your home opener tickets now at GoElks.com. Game day sponsored by Edmonton International Airport. Go Elks!
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Just like the boys of Summer keep their gear in top shape, you can keep your stuff safe with Sentinel Storage.
Hit a home run with Sentinel Storage, official storage provider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
All right, got a weather forecast from Josh Clausen over at CTV.
Hi, Josh.
Listening to the show today. Thanks, Josh. He says there's a chance of a few more showers / thunderstorms this evening. No guarantee. It'll be hit and miss. He says steadier rain through tomorrow morning, tapering off at some point in the afternoon. Cloudy and around 15 to 18 degrees for Elks kickoff tomorrow. All right, so hopefully the way that looks, a little cooler, but not bad, and rain should have ended by the time the Elks play tomorrow night. That's good to know. 15 to 18 is fine.
So, Clausen, should I cancel my flag football practice tonight out by our Draisaitl at about 6:45?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I know it's going to be hit and miss, but I figured, why not ask the best in the biz if you got an ear, right?
Yeah. It's nice to have a meteorologist listening to the show who can just send in up to the second weather update.
Are you and Clausen chums?
Josh Clausen was the weather person at Global Saskatoon when I did my practicum in the summer of 1999. I do not think, if he's still listening, he'll text me. I do not think he was a meteorologist at that time. I think he got that training shortly after that.
Well, he certainly wasn't the chief meteorologist.
I have known Josh a long time. He remembers a very young and inexperienced Reid Wilkins. Now I'm just a little older. All right, it's time for our weekly connection. It's time to simplify your life with Connect belts. More than a good-looking belt, Connect offers a high-quality, no-holes belt. Whether you're on the course, in the office, or anywhere life takes you, Connect is the perfect fit belt you need to feel good. Get a Connect belt and support a 100% Canadian-owned company, owned and operated by U of A alumni. You can scan the, Coop's going to put up the QR code. If you're, it's already up there, eh, Coop?
Yeah.
Coop's got it on the right-hand side. Scan the QR code for a special EST 20% discount. So if you're on YouTube, you can scan that QR code. If you're not on there, hop in and scan it, or you can go back and watch the show a little bit later, and it'll take you to the Connect website. It's KNKT.
Knew nothing, kept trying.
Knew nothing, kept trying.
Praise report, they said they've had people doing the QR thing and taking advantage of the promo code.
That is awesome. We're gonna. Did you know that I spent a summer in Saskatoon, Drew? I don't know if I ever told you that. Drew Remenda's checking in.
I know that. That's probably why I like you so much, is that you spent time in the Paris of the Prairies. And that's obviously where you became such a nice, well-rounded young man.
I noticed when I was there. Okay, so you will like this, since we often joke/not joke about that province's obsession with the Riders. So the training camp was in Saskatoon.
Yeah,
I never got to go cover it, but RJ Broadhead or Derek Bidwell were coming back with 2 stories a day. And it was like, what's today's stories on? Linebackers and running backs. What are you doing tomorrow? Kickers and DBs. Like, you just go through the position set and tell people. And man, oh man, the Hilltops were extremely popular. Sarge, right? So what's the Tom Sargent is still there.
Still coaching there, still doing it. They're still one of the championship teams in the Canadian Junior Division. They're an amazing program. They bring the alumni back. But the other thing, and maybe this is just a CFL thing, but with the Riders, the most popular player in the Riders has always been the backup quarterback.
Oh, well, yeah, that's you're going to like this too. Because so I did my practicum there, and then I got some part-time work in September. So I think there was an international volleyball tournament there, and the CIS or whatever it was called season was starting. So that was the first year Regina was in Canada West. Remember, they didn't have, and Jay Onright and I covered the game Rams at Huskies, and it was packed. Like, the weather wasn't great. It was packed, and it was this big thing. They're finally going to play in university football. And I said to Jay, I said Saskatchewan should win. He goes, oh yeah, they should, but you never know. And I said, well, what will it be like if Regina pulls off the upset? He goes, it'll be kind of like a nuclear bomb went off in the city, but worse.
Yeah, that's actually true. Because everybody knows it's like The Simpsons in Springfield, right? You spit. So it's pretty much the same thing when you talk about Regina.
Anyway, tales of Saskatoon. All right. Well, in the end, it wasn't close, was it? I was quite surprised. I'm not surprised Florida is good and Florida won the cup. I was surprised it turned into that throw of a butt kicking. What do you think?
I was shocked yesterday when I saw the stat of Florida leading the series 255 minutes plus to the Edmonton Oilers 33 minutes, because Paul Maurice talked about it. Chris Knobloch talked about it. We all talked about the fact that this series was close. We thought this series when the two teams, and obviously 2 great teams, you don't get to back-to-back Stanley Cups without being a great team, no matter how people in Edmonton are feeling today. But the better team, and you guys have already covered it today, the better team won because they kept in goal. They were better. Defense core was better. The top guys were better, but the team itself was better. Connor McDavid talked about it last night. Just keep banging your head against the wall over and over again, trying to find a way through their defense, to get through the neutral zone, to be able to get the puck in the offensive zone and control it and hold on to it. So when you look at it, it's 2 great teams. Paul Maurice talked about the 2-foot rule. He's a big 2-foot guy. 2 feet are the difference between making the right play and not being able to get to the guy. 2 feet from being in the right position in the front of the net to block the shot, or 2 feet to get the tip on the net. He's the science or the art of the 2-foot distance. And really, when you looked at this series, that was probably it. That was probably what the difference was, is that Florida were able to close that distance quicker. We're able to make those 2 feet plays in the right direction in their favor. So I know people in Edmonton are feeling terrible. Leon Draisaitl last night. By the way, I think there should be a moratorium. that you cannot talk to the losing team players until the next day. I felt horrible for Leon because he didn't want to be there, and the people kept asking him, and they kept asking him the same questions about whether it stings or not. I know he gets paid $14 million, and that's part of the business. I get it, but damn, I just wanted somebody just to step in and go, come on, Leon, let's go, man. It felt bad for him.
Drew Remenda joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. Look, obviously, the season's over. So, I mean, we're trying to wrap things up a bit. And I mean, this is going to take quite a while to unpack, obviously. But for the Oilers, I'm putting you on the spot a bit here, Drew, so forgive me. Who impressed you the most throughout this postseason for the Oilers? And on the other side, aside from Nugent Hopkins, whose game do you feel lacked the most? And I threw that in as a little bit of a joke for Nuge.
That's a really good question. And when I kind of compared it to last year, I thought about the help that Connor and Leon got last year. There was more depth, especially in those the games 4, 5, 6, that Connor and Leon got some help. I wanted more from Evander Kane. I thought Evander Kane just seemed here and there in his play. I thought Corey Perry was great. Absolutely loved how Corey Perry played. Leon was Leon. I know that yesterday he did not have a good game. I know he was not involved yesterday offensively, and I know that was a problem. But overall, the guy scored 4 overtime goals, and that's a record in this playoffs. That's absolutely amazing. And maybe I'm a little biased. I thought. And I know this is probably going to be controversial. I didn't think Stuart Skinner was great or Calvin Pickard was great, but they were good enough to give the Oilers a chance. And when I'm hearing all this criticism about Stuart Skinner today, and I'm thinking to myself, it's his 3rd year, right? He's been to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 of the 3 years he's played, and he's been a big reason why the Oilers were able to make the run back this year. So was Calvin Pickard. So I wouldn't be as panicked in net as I was. I wasn't impressed with the pickups, guys. I wasn't impressed with Janmark that much. I thought he showed flashes, but I didn't think he showed consistency. I thought the same thing I thought Ekholm was trouble coming back. Arvidsson, I wasn't crazy about. Skinner is here and there for me as well. I didn't think there was enough help for the top 6 from the bottom 6. I know that's an easy thing to say, and because the bottom 6 guys don't get a heck of a lot of time to show what they've got. But what was the difference between the way that the bottom 6 played for Florida versus the way the bottom 6 played for the Oilers? Well, the bottom 6 for Florida, especially that 4th line with Nosek, Greer, Gadjevich, those guys had one job. Go out, get the puck deep, go in, check, play physical, get to the front of the net. And they did it very, very well. And that was a change that Paul Maurice made after the first 2 games against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He puts that line together with Greer and Gadjevich coming in, and they took off after that. So there wasn't as much for me consistency from the bottom 6 as far as give me a shift that can change the momentum of the game. And overall, guys, I wasn't crazy about the way the defense played. I like Jake Wallman, but I'm biased. I like Darnell, but I'm biased. But Darnell made some mistakes in the last couple games. Yesterday, he lets Reinhart get to that position in front instead of boxing him out early. I thought they got puck watching quite a bit. But again, that's what the other team does to you. They put pressure on you the way the Florida Panthers do. It makes you start to really get hypnotized by the puck.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary, but certainly also a credit to what Florida was able to do. I'm going to ask you a question, because yesterday on the post-game show, I said, of course, it's going to be an interesting offseason. And I said, look, Maurice is a more experienced coach than Knobloch. And I think maybe it showed a little bit. I mean, Connor gave that quote about banging our heads against the wall. I don't think he meant that as a criticism of Knobloch, but to me it means like you got to try some other way to get the puck into the zone if nothing's working. And I said, this is an interesting situation for me because he's still not Bowman's coach. He's Jackson's coach. So I wonder, they're going to evaluate everything. I'm not suggesting, and some people said, oh, Reid, you're firing Knobloch. I'm not firing Knobloch. I'm just saying top down, the organization has to look at everything. Yeah. What do you hope Chris Knobloch learned from this playoff run as still a relatively young head coach in the grand scheme of things?
Well, this is going to be rather arrogant of me to say, because Chris Knobloch has got a hell of a lot better coaching record than I ever had in the National Hockey League as an assistant coach or any place. I think Chris is a brilliant coach. A couple of things I think is the one thing we just talked about, and this has a lot to do with Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson, and Chris Knobloch and the coaching staff working together to find the right combination of guys and positions in the bottom six and also on D, is try to find a consistency or an identity in the way they play. I thought they got close to it this year. The Edmonton Oilers' identity used to be, when I was there reading and we were we'd be talking in the stands, the Edmonton Oilers' identity used to be let Connor and Leon just try to go outscore the problems. And that's not an identity, because your team identity has to be something that every guy from top to bottom can do. Florida Panthers have that identity. So trying to meld or mold or grow a culture / team identity. And culture is different than identity, but identity in the way that they play on the ice is all about what the head coach wants and the message he delivers. He falls into the trap, like every coach I've ever seen, of putting Leon and Connor together at the drop of a hat. And I thought you saw it yesterday early, and I thought when I'm watching Leon a lot, and I thought he was gassed. I just didn't think they had a lot left in the tank in order to kind of overcome the pressure that the Florida Panthers were putting on, especially those two. The other thing is the adjustment. There wasn't really many adjustments in the series as far as one team to the next. Florida did a better job in games 4, 5, 6 on exiting their zone, where they tried to keep coming up through the boards, up the boards, and Edmonton was doing a great job taking that away. They brought the pinch down. They had the support as the third man high. They did a really good job there. So Florida adjusted. They went back to the middle. Their weak side defenseman jumped, or the weak side winger was coming across, pushing the pace, and they were able to exit the zone quite easily. I think the last stat I saw was 67% versus 43% in favor of the Florida Panthers in clean exits. But for Chris Knobloch, he's gained experience. I wasn't crazy about the goaltender swap. I'm a believer, though, in you earn your start. So Calvin Pickard gets that start, right? And he comes in after he helps the team come back, and then he gets the start, but they lose, and he goes back to Skinner. If he was good enough to come into that game after to help you out and get the win and then get the next game, I would have stuck with him. But again, that's a coaching thing. You've got to go with your gut. I think overall with Chris Knobloch, and of course not being in the room and not knowing what is said, I would think that he would look at those things as, one, let's try to build that identity even stronger than we had. We were close to it this year. We got to push it back. We got to make sure we make the adjustments necessary on special teams, especially the penalty kill, which did not work this year as compared to last season in the playoffs, and starts of games. But Chris is a very smart guy, heck of a coach. My 2 years in the National Hockey League, not even, and he's gone to 2 Stanley Cup Finals. So I don't think he has to work on a lot. I think experience will help him out in the long run.
Drew, well said. Incredible summary. We always enjoy having you on the show. Are you ignoring us for the summer, or maybe like August 2nd we'll have a Saturday?
Geez,
some random day in August we can bring you on?
Let me think how busy my schedule is during the summer. Yeah, it's dead. I'm around. Reid, you know where I am.
You're not going to... Okay, wait a minute. Oh, I got to remember the name of the racetrack, because the summer I was in Saskatoon, I did the race report.
Downs.
What's it called?
Marcus Downs?
No, the auto racing. Don't tell me.
Good, because I couldn't.
Maybe it's not there, but they had a little mini oval.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. They moved it out near Warman. Yeah, but I don't know the name of it.
Well, yeah, because you like going fast, we know. So I don't know if you go and drive around, or you got a stock car.
Turn left. No, I just got to go Greyways, Saskatchewan highways.
Hey, Drew, what are the Saskatchewan Rattlers, the CEBL team? Yeah. Is that a big deal in Saskatoon?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. Yes, they are a very big deal, and same with the lacrosse team. They're both been very successful in bringing fans in. It's affordable, number one, and it's Saskatoon, so you need some sports entertainment in the summer.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks, buddy. Elks home opener tomorrow. If you want to watch that on the tube, see if we can get a win against Montreal.
All over it. I will be for sure. Nothing but CFL from it. Hey, it's tomorrow is the Abbotsford Canucks versus the Charlotte Checkers.
Yeah, they're still going, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's game 3. Or game 4. Abbotsford's up 2-1. First 2 games were double overtime. I urge you to go back and look at game 1 and the winning goal in double overtime by Charlotte, which was disallowed. It's something you've never seen before.
All right. Drew, thank you for doing this. You're the best. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, boys. Have a great summer.
Drew Remenda checking in. Good breakdown. He always gives us a really thorough and honest assessment of the series. As yes, we are putting a cap on the Edmonton Oilers season. Of course, Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your chances when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports betting, and lottery, all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. And when we get back, something very special. Mr. Jason Milne has prepared a eulogy for the Oilers season. That's after the 5 o'clock break.
2 guys and a goalie.
So here's the question, though. How much of that is, Barkov contributes, obviously, but how much of that is the Oilers' defense inability to get the Oilers forwards the puck cleanly? Because to me, that's what's doing it. It's not even like Barkov having to defend in the defensive zone. It's like Edmonton just never has speed through the neutral zone. And if they do, they're having to chip and chase. Like they're not entering the zone
2 guys
clean.
and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the Banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
Time out, Edmonton. The new Play Alberta app has arrived, and it's here to make your gambling experiences more fun, exciting, and secure. Enjoy the convenience of hundreds of casino games, betting live on your favorite sports teams, and access to lotteries all in one place, anywhere in Alberta. Enter code YEG50 to receive a $50 free bet when you make a $5 minimum deposit. That's a $50 free bet for new and existing users using code YEG50. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences. Plus, all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom. And from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
According to Frank Saravalli from Daily Faceoff, Trent Frederick is expected to sign an 8-year contract with the Oilers worth nearly $4 million per season. Frederick had 15 points in 58 games split between the Oilers and Bruins last season. Meanwhile, the majority owners of the Lakers, the Buss family, has agreed to sell the team to Dodgers owner Mark Walter for approximately $10 billion. In Nashville, the Predators have acquired 34-year-old Eric Holla from the Devils for Jeremy Hansel and this year's 4th-round pick. Staying with the Preds, captain Roman Josi is expected to play next season after he was diagnosed with POTS, a nervous system disorder, at the end of last year. While in the Windy City, Ryan Donato has signed a 4x4 contract extension with the Blackhawks. He had 62 points in 80 games last year, scoring 31 goals. And baseball sees tons of action. Jays and Diamondbacks are warming up for the second of a 3-game series. Eric Lauer is a man for Toronto, first pitch moments away. Right now it's the Phillies and Marlins runless in the second. And for the Riverhawks, they match up with the Bells at home. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. Coverage starting at 7. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third and final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for gathering this afternoon. The Edmonton Oilers 2024-2025 season will be long remembered in oil country. And to further mark its passing and to deliver a eulogy this afternoon, Jason Milne.
Thank you, Reid. Good afternoon. I would like to thank all of those listening or watching the Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, for gathering today in remembrance of the 2024-25 Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club. This is a day we would rather not have seen, and quite frankly, a eulogy that I would have preferred not to have written. However, we are here to console each other through the positive remembrance of the team you all love and hold so close to your hearts. My name is Jason Milne, and I've known the Edmonton Oilers for my entire existence, following them from a very young age, but in a recent turn of events, I'm now covering them as a member of Edmonton Sports Talk. Once again, I would like to thank you all for being in attendance and showing support for your beloved Edmonton Oilers. The 2024-25 season was the 46th season for the National Hockey League franchise, which was established on June 22nd, 1979. It presented many challenging moments for the Oilers, faithful, and in the end, these moments were simply too hard to overcome. Your beloved Oilers had a rather dismal start to the season as they registered a 5-5-1 record in the month of October. Many questioned the ability of the Oilers, specifically at the positions of goaltending and defense. But alas, your team was able to overcome as often as they had. Over the months of November, December, and January, the departed rattled off a record of 27-10-3 and were back in the good graces of their admiring followers. However, a southeastern road trip in the month of February would prove to be a tougher task than expected, and potentially brought with it some foreshadowing to the eventual demise of the 2024-25 Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers carried a 5-game losing record into the month of March, where things began to turn back to normal, or at least that's how Oilers fans would like to remember it. On April 11th, your cherished Oilers were able to punch their ticket. They always like that phrase. To their 6th consecutive Stanley Cup playoffs after a spirited 4-2 victory over the San Jose Sharks. Who? Good. I'm going to rerun that music. Who, by the way, have also sent a representative to this ceremony. Thank you. Very thoughtful. The regular season for the Oilers also brought some change, as newcomers John Klingberg, Jake Wallman, and Trent Frederick were acquired prior to the NHL's trade deadline day. I still remember that day. The acquisition of John Klingberg is one of my highlights of my young broadcasting career. Reid, I know you remember that day quite fondly, as the outpouring of support as well as disdain made for quite the day here at EST. Our dealer Oilers finished the regular season 3rd in the Pacific Division with a record of 48-29-5. Good enough for 6th position in the Western Conference. Leon Draisaitl had one of the most memorable seasons of his career and finished with 52 goals and 106 points. Good enough for a nomination for the Hart Memorial Trophy, however, was edged out by Connor Hellebuck, goaltender for the Winnipeg Jets. At this time, I would also like to take a moment to thank those of you in attendance that are visiting us from the Gateway to the West, also known as Winnipeg. In the playoffs, after starting the series down 0-2 against the Los Angeles Kings, the Oilers won 4 straight games to eliminate the Kings. The Oilers then dispatched the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games in the second round. In a rematch of the previous year's Western Conference Final, the Oilers defeated the Dallas Stars in 5 games and made the 2025 Stanley Cup Final for a rematch against the Florida Panthers, who won in 2024. As we all know, the Edmonton Oilers once again lost the Stanley Cup Finals, this time in 6 games. Hence, why we are all gathered here today. Aside from the steadfast fan base, the Oilers are remembered by their general manager, Stan Bowman, as well as the team's head coach, Chris Knoblauch. Due to obvious reasons, neither could be in attendance, but did send their heartfelt condolences. Coach Knoblauch, although grieving, was able to send in this comment. There's no silver lining to this. It's still heart-wrenching. It's very difficult to handle. We respect how difficult this must be for Coach Knoblauch and appreciate those thoughtful words. Personally, I found this past season to be one that I will remember forever, as I was able to view your Edmonton Oilers through the lens of you, the listener and viewer. I will always cherish the memory of a big uke limerick or a witty Mex Bezozu quip. And who can forget the birds of summer? Yes, friends, you have made this a very enjoyable... Coob, you want to run that back? You have made this a very enjoyable and memorable experience for us here at Edmonton Sports Talk. But alas, you are here, even in this moment of remembrance, asking the same questions that were asked at the commencement of the season. Questions such as, is the goaltending good enough to carry this team? Or how will this team defend? And of course, what is Evan Bouchard going to get on his next deal? Yes, even in this time of reflection, your passion and desire for the Stanley Cup afford you the opportunity to question the future of this organization. It is that, friends, that make this fan base one of the most revered in the National Hockey Association. In closing, I would like to honor the departed by appreciating the impact they have had on all of us. They have brought families together, whether in front of the television, at the watch party, or in the passion-filled moss pit. They have sparked endless debate and inspired a new generation of Oilers faithful. On behalf of myself, Jason Milne, as well as the entire Edmonton Sports Talk team, we would like to bid a final farewell to the 2024-25 Edmonton Oilers and ask you again, please do not ask to remember the good old days, but rather realize that you are living in the good old days. Yes, we are laying this season to rest, but there is still hope in Edmonton. There is still passion in Edmonton, and there is still the desire to bring the Stanley Cup back to Edmonton. Although as it is over for this year, it is not a goodbye, but rather a see you next year. Thank you.
Jay, that was beautiful.
Thank you, Reid.
That was beautiful. The goal horn at the end was a nice touch. That was... Oh, my God. Thanks for doing that, buddy. There's the eulogy for the 24-25 Oilers season. A little bit of a recap, a little bit of a remembrance, a little bit of an emotional reflection.
Yes.
And then the goal horn. You would have to do that at a hockey funeral, wouldn't you?
You'd have
to play the goal horn. Oh, that was good.
That was deep.
Are you okay?
I think
Did you practice that? I know you worked on it quite hard, quite diligently.
I read it. I did read it once.
Out loud or in your head?
In my head.
Well, you got to read it out loud.
Which I regretted.
You got to read it out loud.
I was a little nervous about it, but...
you did well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of compliments in the nasty chat. Phyllis says, beautifully done, Jay. Big Uke, outstanding, Jay. One last win, for our fallen season. How do they say it? Win,
Coop, why don't you...
Is that how they do it, Coop?
Win,
Where is that from again?
It's a Vine video, which was like a
And
TikTok
what's Vine?
back in the day. It was
And
a
what's
6-second
TikTok?
quick clip. TikTok is a social media platform where you can share videos of various lengths.
Oh, YouTube.
One of those. Sure, Reid. Sure. Yeah. You're
By the way, if you're
pulling my
watching
leg.
us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. You got to give Jay a thumbs up if you haven't already for writing a eulogy on the season. Pretty good. That was good work, buddy. You feel okay?
Yeah, it was deep, Reid. It was deep.
It was pretty deep. The Oilers traveled home today. There will be some player exit meetings tomorrow. I don't even know, what are they, or physicals anyway. I don't even know if they're doing meetings. And we'll get some players. We'll be speaking to the media, so we'll have some clips tomorrow afternoon for you as well. What are they doing again? Hang on. Well, don't they got to get weighed on their way out? It's like,
what are they trying to see what you're going to do over the summer?
They have medicals tomorrow. So medicals tomorrow. Medicals are starting at 9:45.
I think medicals would be like treatment game plan for the
Well,
offseason.
don't they have to get like baseline stuff though?
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, there is that. What? There certainly is that. I think they got to weigh you. Hey, you lost too much weight. You got to bulk up for the offseason. Eat more chips. Okay, 780-218-9999 is how you can text us. That's the River Cree Resort and Casino afternoon inbox. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Oh, my goodness. That was good, Jay. I'm a little speechless after you wrote that eulogy. I did not know what to expect. Jay just told me he wanted to do it. And I was like, okay, do it.
It's the end of a season, but I do really believe, Reid, it is not a good
Well, you got
bye.
to take a moment. Well, it's a goodbye for this season.
It's see
the
you next
franchise
year,
and
Reid.
many of the players will be back for 24-25. It's done. It was the last game yesterday. Should we catch up on some limericks in the wake of your eulogy?
Good word use.
Which one did you do? You did Bronco Knicks?
No.
No, I'll do Bronco Knicks.
And then I'll do VRs.
Oilers lost to a better hockey team. No shame in that, it may seem. It still stings like Reaper wings. Now time for some ice cream. That is Bronco Nick.
And VR Montenegro coming to us today as VR Montenegro.
He is himself.
He is himself. He is he. Another great Oilers season is dusted and done. Thanks to EST and the Nasties for all the fun. Time to quit the bit. Yo, get over it. Get outside, meow. Summer has officially begun.
And we'll do the big ukes as well. By the way, James, I got your series of limericks. It's kind of more like a long-form poem. Big Uke says, the cup run was one for the ages. Those Panthers should have put them in cages. Regroup and retool. Enjoy summer by the pool. Reid tried to silence me today. Rages. That was weird. Yeah, I clicked the wrong button. Oh, well. What are you going to do? We will get to fired up. Are we going to have a double word of the day? Like, people just don't want to click today. The Oilers are out. People have been clicking a lot. I don't think we're even going to... I don't think we'll get a single word of the day.
Click. Must you click?
I don't think we're going to have a single word of the day.
Must you click?
We have to get to 130. We're at 126.
You must click. Thumb.
And then we got to, I wonder what Sammy Hagar Reid would... He would not be that happy.
No, because we're trying to get to 100 for a double word of the day. We're not even at 130 for a single word of the day.
Relsta says, I went for a disc golf immediately after that last night's loss. It helped.
You know who plays disc golf? Trev.
YouTube Trev.
And all he talks about is disc golf, at least to me. That's all he talks about. And then when I say to him, man, you're really into disc golf. No, I'm not. Don't say that. I would never get into something like that. But it's all you talk about. No, it's not. So
He's
anyway,
very passionate.
I got the throwing on 14. Like, okay. Oh my goodness!
I believe
All right.
he does live close to one now, so it's
I think he's
it's
by.
easier
How many
for
disc golf courses are there in Edmonton? Do we even know?
I don't know. 42?
For sure. Why not?
Why not?
42.
42 it is.
All right, let's get to the Coupe here. Fired up for Gemco coming up. We'll also give you an update on your Edmonton Elks.
Frank Saravalli from Daily Faceoff has reported that Trent Frederick is expected to sign an 8-year contract extension with the Oilers worth nearly $4 million per season. While in the association, Mark Walter, owner of the Dodgers, is entering an agreement with the Buss family to buy majority ownership of the LA Lakers worth approximately $10 billion. Elsewhere, there's some moves in the NHL. Eric Holla is headed back to Nashville, being traded from New Jersey in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and this year's 4th round pick. For the Blackhawks, Ryan Donato has signed a 4x4 contract extension with the 29-year-old, potting 31 goals for 62 points in 80 games last season. MLB action as Toronto and Arizona rematch. They're live in the bottom of the first inning with Toronto up 1-0, 1 out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at bat for the Jays. Back in Edmonton, the Riverhawks play the Bells. Listen to the full game on any of EST's audio streams. The game starting just after 7. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. The boys get fired up talking some Elks once we get back from break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Oil Stream.
I talked about that last night. I used Corey Perry as an example. That guy at 40 years old, fantastic what he did. But
you made a good point on that last night. I remember that.
Yeah, and I used him as an example. I said, like, he's 40 years old and he's your top line right winger. I know it should be Zach Hyman. That wasn't possible due to the injury, but that is something that will need to be looked at.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino proudly presents Ian Munsick. July 5th, live in the venue. Country fans, you don't want to miss an evening with Ian Munsick, a stampeding, spirited celebration of romance, ranch life, family, and forever young fun. Tickets on sale now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Keep your team jersey and rally towel close by and help bring the championship home. For all your other treasures, store them with Sentinel Storage. Store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All right, how you doing, everybody? Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports, presented by Play Alberta. Why limit your choices when you can have it all? Play Alberta is your go-to app for casino games, sports, betting, and lottery all in one place with easy access to real money games. You can enjoy everything Alberta has to offer right at your fingertips. Download Play Alberta now and start playing today. Jay's Play of the Day is up on Play Alberta. Go to the website or go on the app. Click Sports. EST Specials will be an option on the menu. Now, tomorrow, it will be an Elks-related Jay's Play of the Day. We don't know exactly what, but you're going to do something Elks-related?
Absolutely.
Okay, yes. That sounds pretty cool. If you're taking us in on one of the audio streams, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, we thank you for that. Let other people know about the station. Oilers hockey, obviously, always a big conversation point in Edmonton. We're not going away in the summer. We're going to cover all your Oilers-related stuff. Quote-unquote garbage bag day tomorrow. Free agency, the draft, any off-season moves, off-season discussion, all that type of stuff. We're going to be your go-to source for everything going on with the Edmonton Elks. We'll have Elks pre- and post-game shows, Green and Gold kickoff show and post-game show with Jay and Matthew Awanek. We're going to keep you updated on other great stories. We have our Athlete of the Week starting tomorrow, presented by Pasta Pantry. We got Stingers games. We got Riverhawks games. We'll be talking about those teams as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to make you smile. And Jay and I have had some laughs today, and hopefully we maybe have made you laugh as well, despite the fact that the Oilers were not able to grab the Stanley Cup this season, despite making it to the final.
Yeah. It happens, Reid. But you know what? The sun rose this morning.
The sun did rise this morning. That's what I noticed. The sun rises quite early.
What was it? Not last night, the night before. I was awoken at about 4:30 in the morning. And
by the crow of a cock? Sorry, I didn't realize how that would sound saying it out loud. It's quite funny.
No, not by that. But I got up and it was light out.
Yeah,
4:30 in the morning. Incredible. The birds were chirping.
Hang on. Oh my God.
I'm sure some places the cocks were crowing. Would you call that a crow?
With the sound a rooster makes?
Yeah.
Yeah, a rooster crows. I believe that's what the sound a rooster makes. I think it's called crowing.
Crowing, yeah. Roosters crow to signal the start of the day.
Yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, and they say cock-a-doodle-doo, right? Well, they do. That's what they say. Isn't that how it's translated?
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank you.
English translation.
That's the bird to English translation. Okay. Picardi Juan Kenobi, thank you for that in the nasty chat. Hey, we always get both sides of it, right? We had some people telling us we suck earlier. Picardi Juan Kenobi wrote something nice. That's fine. We're used to it.
Yeah, they were buttheads. Hey, if that, I don't know that I would ever have even thought of doing that if, let's say, Edmonton beats, I don't know.
Like going in the other team's
Toronto
media.
Next, going in the, some Toronto broadcast the day after they've lost the Stanley Cup and berating the hosts of the show.
Yeah.
I would consider a lot of things in my life at that point if I
but if you're doing that, you don't have that consideration. There's probably some maturity missing.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And I also feel as if we're kind of going down a different path here. And
What's new, Reid?
I'm not saying everything you and I say is clever or even planned out most of the time. But okay. So you're a Panthers fan.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to go into this station and I'm going to put in their chat that they suck. Okay. That's as far as you can take it.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, and I always figure that the people who do that, they're commenting more on themselves than their actual target.
Ah.
Yeah.
True. Could be true.
That's the way I always look at that. Edmonton sucks talks. That's what somebody put in the net. Oh my God! Well,
brilliant.
You got us there. Wow, there's no possible comeback to that. I guess we gotta think of it ourselves. And also those people too. It's like, okay, let's think about this, buddy. Your favorite team beat the hockey team in the city that we live and cover. You didn't win the Stanley Cup, and we weren't on the team that lost it. We just happened to live in and talk about that team.
True.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. But I mean that's fine. It's easy to lash out and be mean. It's not easy to kick the right people out of the chat. The reason I kicked that person out wasn't because he was saying that we suck. I mean, we just laughed at that. He was starting to use some derogatory language and say some things about some other people in the chat that wasn't necessary. And hey, plus, I'm the host of the show. And you're an EST employee and the co-host of the show. We can actually do what we want.
Yeah, I don't think we're obligated
like
to
when
do.
People are like, well, why did you do this, Reid? Well, quite frankly, because it's my decision. And I've only done that a couple of times.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Takes a lot to push me to the point where I'm just like, you're gone. And there's not going to be any middle ground for me.
What's that mean? What would a middle ground be?
There's usually no warning.
A 10-minute timeout?
Like if somebody starts dropping real filthy language.
I like that though.
If somebody starts dropping filthy language in the nasty chat, I'm not going to say, oh, hey, user 815. Can you just be like, well, you're gone, because you shouldn't need a warning to know better in certain public discussion forums.
Surprise tactic. I like it.
I guess. All right, time to get fired up for Gemco. Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street.
So, as we touched on off the top, obviously we had to get to Oilers, and we're going to be talking Oilers a lot for the next while. I mean, what are we, Reid? Less than 2 weeks away from free agency?
Yeah, we're right there, baby.
I mean, have no fear, Oilers fans. Before you know it, this team will be back on the ice. But I was down at the Elks practice today. Beautiful day down at Commonwealth, and they took a lot of questions. Reid, last week they rushed the ball 9 times. Last week, they didn't get the result that they wanted. But you know what, Reid? I've rewatched that game. That was a closer game than the score would suggest. I just feel like Elks fans were anticipating more structure from the offense. So obviously they had the bye week. They've been back on the practice field since Saturday. So I asked Coach Mark Killam, what's his message to this team heading into tomorrow's home opener?
Well, we got to improve on the things that we didn't do well. That's what game one shows you. You kind of go into game one, there's some mystery there because, you're not 100% sure on what you're going to look like, what everyone's going to run. But we've had plenty of time to comb through the things that we need to improve on in all 3 phases, and that's what we're trying to build on.
Obviously, Vincent Blanchard, 2 field goal attempts, 0 made. 2 point after attempts, 1 made.
Right, barely.
Look, this has been an issue. Kicking woes have been a part of the Elks for the past few years. Now, obviously, Coach Killam wasn't here last year, but I wanted to ask him about the kicking woes of Vincent Blanchard and what he expects from him tomorrow, given that he's been around the league. He's been a special teams coordinator for several years. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we expect him to be better, and I know that he expects himself to be better. Just to answer your question, I mean, I worked with Rene Paredes for a long time. The guy's going to be the greatest of all time when he retires, but it wasn't always smooth sailing for him. And I tried to relay some of those lessons to Vince about some of the things that Rene did. Vince you know, he wasn't happy. Obviously, he wasn't happy with his performance, but he was out here during the bye. He's had a great week of practice. You know, and just speaking on who Vincent Blanchard is as a player, I mean, the guy's leg talent is unbelievable. So we expect him to be better. Like I said, he had a good week of practice, and hopefully we can carry that into the game.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Jay? Sorry to cut you off. I
No.
know you're kind of driving this segment.
No, let's discuss.
What did he say that what is leg talent? Is
Leg
that just
talent?
a way of saying he can kick far?
Yes. He can kick it a mile. And he can.
Okay.
I mean, of those misses last game, I mean, he had all the leg in the world to get it there.
Then why didn't he just say leg strength? Because to me, leg talent also implies accuracy. Why didn't he just say leg strength?
Well, maybe.
Or is that the coach's term now? He's got a lot of leg talent.
What else can that leg do?
I think I heard that at Pinky's back in the day. Here she is, everybody. She's got a lot of leg talent.
Leg talent, Reid. Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. Here's
a lot of leg talent.
I honestly think that Vincent Blanchard's going to be fine. And having a coach like Mark Killam, who, as we mentioned, is cut his career through special teams. He knows how to develop a kicker. He talked about Rene Paredes in Calgary and how not everything was bright and shiny for him when he first came into the league. So it takes a bit of time. But yeah, this is professional football. The expectations are that you're going to make every kick we put you out there to kick.
Right.
And I honestly, I would love to see a bounce back game from Vincent Blanchard.
Well, I'd love to see that because that would mean they score more points.
Yeah. And it would be good to have a good feeling about the kicking game in Edmonton because it hasn't been like that for a few years.
Well, Sean White was pretty good.
Well, yeah.
Chris Jones didn't think he was pretty good.
That was an oops.
You know the one that bugs me most?
What's that?
Chris Jones let go? Matthew Betts.
Ah, yes. Well, yeah, you're going to hear that name, I think, in our next clip here.
He's going to be chasing Trey Ford around, or trying to.
Well, I think he.
That was the previous game.
I think he wrecked some things last game for this offense.
Right, he already did that.
And I was able to get a one-on-one with offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic. Do we have that ready, Coob? Okay, all right. And I simply asked him because the run game needs to be a part of this offense. The more you run, the more that takes the pressure off Trey Ford. The more it gives him the ability to push the ball downfield with his arm and his legs. The run game is important. I asked offense coordinator Jordan McSimic, how important is it to establish the run game tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a huge part of our identity all year. We have a tremendous offensive line. We have two great tailbacks with Rank and Leak. I think Coach Toros does a really nice job coaching those guys up, designing our run game. And we want to use the run game to set the tone for the entire football team. The physicality and all that kind of stuff, dominating up front, that's certainly who we want to be. So yeah, just the way that BC game played out, with the score being what it was in the second half and everything, we just weren't able to establish that game and get as much as we wanted on first down, put ourselves in those second and manageable situations, get the odd explosive run and stuff like that to move the chains on first down. So that's something that's certainly been a concerted effort this week and something we expect to be better going into Montreal.
Okay, so here's my thing, though. Why did they not run the ball last week? Was it because they weren't on the field enough?
Well, here's the problem.
They keep saying they want to do it. They had a game to prove it, and they didn't do it.
I feel Jordan McSimic, had a lot to do with that because you got yourself into second and long situations where you simply can't run the ball. So that's a problem. The few times they did run, Justin Rankin had 7 carries for 24 yards.
Okay, so I'm just going to clarify here. You're not counting quarterback sneaks, which I think they had 1 or 2 of.
I'm just counting the
running backs. And you're not counting Ford scrambles.
No, I'm counting the running backs, the guys that are paid to run the ball.
Right.
Trey Ford's going to do Trey Ford things.
Okay.
That's just
unless maybe it was a called run where he obviously you might include it. Okay.
Absolutely. But you need to commit to it, Reid. Even if it's not working as well as you thought it would, You need to do that. You need to keep the defense honest. You have to. When you're in a second and long situation, that defensive coordinator is dialing it up.
Right.
He is teeing off on your offensive line, who, by the way, didn't look excellent last game.
True.
You think of all the additions that they made here, the re-signings that they made, you think this O-line would have it put together, but they were missing their starting right tackle in Brett Boyko. So I asked Jordan McSimic, the offensive coordinator of the Elks, the importance of having Brett Boyko back in the lineup tomorrow night.
We got
that's huge.
Sorry.
Brett's obviously.
No, that's my bad, Coop.
I mean, that's huge. Brett's obviously a proven veteran in this league. It was an unfortunate deal last week, right? Day 3 injury. So Mark Evans kind of got thrown into the fire game 1 as a rookie on the road, noisy environment. Matthew Betts on the other side. That was a tough deal. So to have Brett back and have those group of 5 guys that are so comfortable working together on the same page. It's going to be a huge benefit to our offense.
All right, I want to get to this, Jay. This just posted by Frank Saravelli less than 10 minutes ago on dailyfaceoff.com. I'll just read the first couple of paragraphs. Despite the final chapter of the Oilers' season being written at the Stanley Cup Final, sources say the NHL plans to continue to examine Edmonton's use of long-term injury salary cap relief with forward Evander Kane in the days and weeks ahead. The NHL may require more information to satisfy itself that the Oilers complied with the collective bargaining agreement when Kane returned for the second game of round 1 against the Kings after not appearing in a single game during the regular season. The NHL is still deliberating on next steps. There is the potential for retroactive punishment if the league finds the spirit of the CBA was violated. No team in the salary cap era has been punished for LTIR usage, despite the hot button issue and no shortage of complaints in recent years. We just had that yesterday, violating the law but not the spirit of the rule. So the NHL basically is saying you didn't break the rules as written, but you broke the spirit of the rule, so we're going to punish you retroactively. That is quite frankly absurd.
What? I don't understand it. What rules did they break?
The spirit of that he maybe could have been healthier to play sooner.
I don't understand. I mean, it's like this has never happened before, and like the Oilers are reinventing.
But
the
yet,
wheel.
Florida gets salary cap relief from a guy busted for a PED violation.
Yeah, riddle me that.
Now I know Ekblad also missed 2 games of the playoffs. So this is basically saying, this is the NHL basically saying, we're only comfortable with certain types of cheating. We're going to see where this goes. Now, Saravelli is reporting that the NHL may require more information and that they are going to continue to examine Edmonton's use of LTIR. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get what there's to examine. What are you going to say? Oh no, he was healthy. The Oilers will say, well, no, he wasn't. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, clearly other teams have had players who were healthy enough to play that didn't play. So yeah, I really don't know what to say. This is very odd to me that this is coming out now. And because if they were worried about something, why did they say when they activated Kane, hey man, we don't like this, we got to look into it? Did they just say, oh, we'll wait till after the playoff? Like, this is just NHL doing bad, dumb stuff. And if you don't have again, what Saravelli is reporting is that the NHL thinks the Oilers violated the spirit of the rule, not the letter of the rule, because we know that other teams have done this. So now they're saying, I don't know. We got to look into this.
Yeah, and Mark Stone's deal was any different.
Yeah, or whatever. Well, maybe they're just going to have to change the rules all around. Jay and I are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet Burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet, get real, play hard. If you would like to give us a thumb up on YouTube, click that like button. We still need 15 thumbs to get to a double word of the day. We need 15 thumbs to get to a double word of the day, and we got to do that in about 4 minutes. So if you haven't clicked already, get in there and click or send the link to somebody else and get them to click. Sorry, Jay, did you have more Elks clips? I just wanted to get to that.
No. That's fine.
All right. Well, plenty more, of course, on the Elks tomorrow. And we'll have plenty more on the Oilers tomorrow as several players are going to be taking questions from the media as they pack up for the season. All right. Final update here from the Coop.
Daily Faceoff's Frank Saravalli has reported that the Oilers are expected to sign Trent Frederick to an 8-year contract extension worth nearly $4 million per season. And from Chicago, the Blackhawks have re-upped 29-year-old Ryan Donato to a $4x4 million contract extension. Donato scoring 31 goals and 62 points through 80 games last season. Meanwhile, Eric Holla is back to Nashville as the Devils dealt the 34-year-old to the Predators in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and a 4th rounder in the upcoming draft. And Dodgers owner Mark Walters entering an agreement with the Buss family, the majority owners of the LA Lakers, to make a deal to buy their shares for approximately $10 billion. If the sale happens, it would be the biggest sports franchise sale of all time. From Toronto, Jays are underway with the D-backs in the top of the third. It's 1-0 through 2 innings. 4 other games are live. Braves up 3-0 at the end of the first against the Mets. And Riverhawks also play against the Bells. Edmonton losing 7-1 yesterday. EST has the entire game on all of our audio streams with the game starting at 7 o'clock. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they have plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back after a brief break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
EST Afternoons.
It's a fascinating series to break down. I think after game 2, Florida did take it to them, and the numbers suggest that, and the eye test suggests that. And listen, that's a hell of a team. They're extremely well coached. They were better in every aspect of the game. 5-on-5, special teams, defense, goaltending. In every aspect, you got to give them credit. It sucks to see the Oilers lose.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Oh, I thought we were live for that, Coop. I thought that part was live. That's why I was performing. Okay. Well, sometimes good stuff doesn't get on air. What can you do? We need 9 thumbs to get to 155. We got to do it in about 2 minutes.
Can we do it?
Probably. Get wrecked in the nasty chat. Says the Panthers, if the Panthers were better in every aspect, then it should have been a 4-game sweep. They weren't better in every aspect in games 1, 2, and 4 after the first period. Lots of recency bias. Well, but they won the series, and overall they were better in the series. I think if you look at the full 6 games, they made more big plays. They defended better. Their depth was better. Their goaltending was better. Coaching was better. So to me, that's every aspect of the game. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a sweep. I mean, I think the Oilers were better than Dallas in every aspect of the game, but they lost the game. Well, I guess, so I don't know. I get what you're saying, get wrecked, but I don't think it's that simple to say if it's not a sweep, one team's not obviously better. No, by the end of the day, the Panthers were obviously better than the Oilers. I don't know what else to tell you.
Looney Len in the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox says, you mean Edmonton Super Talk?
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's some nice positive energy. By the way, the afternoon inbox, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. No, you're right, get wrecked. They weren't better in every game, but I think overall, okay, let me ask you this, get wrecked. Forwards, however you want to break it down. Forwards, defense, goaltending, special teams, depth. If I were to list a bunch of characteristics of a hockey team down the middle of a chart, and we had Oilers on one side and Panthers on the other side, in what aspect would you give the Oilers a check mark? That's what I'm saying. And I know we're splitting hairs here. I'm not saying this to argue with you. Well, actually, I am. I'm saying this to be extremely difficult. What would you give the Oilers a check mark in? That's what I'm saying. I can't think like over the course of the whole series.
I don't think you could.
Kelvin says that Edmonton won this series, we would have talked about how well they played from behind, how they were opportunistic because they were not better. That's a good point. If the Oilers would have won this series somehow, I think we would be saying the better team didn't win, but the team that had that whole figure it out aspect that I talk about won. That the Oilers somehow would have just figured it out despite maybe being beaten most of the time. Which they I don't know. Like the comeback game is interesting because you could say, well, the Panthers blew it, but the Oilers, but part of the whole game is protecting a lead, and Florida didn't do that in Game 4. I think Get Wrecked is new in the nasty chat.
Welcome.
Yeah, write in whatever you want.
Did you thumb up? Did you give us a thumb? I think we're going to get there, Reid.
Yeah, we need 2. Okay, we'll do a double word of the day. We'll do a double
word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right.
First word of the day, pedantic. Pedantic.
I think I've been accused of being this.
Potentially.
Pedantic. And this has to do with what's the best way to describe it? Sort of speaking in a conversational, but doing it in an instructional or let me fill you in type of tone. No? I got it totally wrong? I don't get a sentence?
Sure. They were being unnecessarily pedantic by insisting that Barry himself and not his wife should have made the announcement.
Oh, like overly concerned with detail? That's more what it is. Okay. should have got. So I get like 1.16.
1 point. We're gonna go 1.38.
Oh, really? Okay.
Giving too much attention to formal rules or small details.
Because even my original definition was if it's a large ballpark, I was in there somewhere.
You were in there. You were in the...
Because I said it has to do with...
If this was Fenway Park, you were in the seats above the Green Monster.
Yes, but the right answer is by the pesky pole.
Of course.
Yeah.
The second word of the day, amiable.
159 thumbs. That's 159 to go home. Amiable. A-M-I-A-B-L-E. Likeable or agreeable. Woohoo! Woohoo! Wilkie on fire! I'm on top of that one like bread on a hamburger, but like a bun. I'm on top of that one like garnish on a hamburger, like a ketchup mustard. I'm on top of that like an umbrella over a golf cart. There we go.
Pleasant and friendly.
I said likable or agreeable.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
So what was it?
3.3. Do I get a slight deduction for the amiable definition?
Not a deduction, but maybe a deduction. 3.35. So we're going to give you a 0.03.
Give me 0.97 for the definition.
That's correct.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Oh, that is pretty good. All right. We're back tomorrow. Well, the live stream resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen show. What's that other guy with him? Lieutenant Eric? They're pretty good.
Lovely, man.
Hang out at 9. Lock shop at 11 tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so at Oil Stream at noon. No, it's tomorrow. What day is it? Tomorrow's Thursday, so it's 2 guys and a goalie. And then Hernan and Gager, EST afternoons from 1 to 3. We're back from 3 to 6. We'll have the latest from whatever the Oilers say on Garbage Bag Day, and we'll tee up the Edmonton Elks and the Alouettes, and we'll have our new segment, the Athlete of the Week.
Why don't more people say Wednesday? Why is it Wednesday?
Why don't more people say Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Because they're not idiots, Jay.
You're the pronunciation king.
Well, you say it Wednesday.
Why would you
say it incorrectly?
Look at how it's written. Baffling.
Well, but a lot of things aren't pronounced the way they're written. J. Milne.
True enough.
All right. On behalf of the Coop and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Have a wonderful evening.